Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Book of Boba Fett and the podcast of Boba Fett. Appreciate
Hello,
you
everybody,
all
and
coming
welcome
out.
back to another episode
One
of
second.
the Book of Boba Fett and the
There we go. Sorry. Double audio. Fixed it. Welcome back. Welcome back to episode 5 of the podcast of Boba Fett. What a great episode. Overall, not only is it the best episode in the Book of Boba Fett, but it's the best episode I think they've ever done in the Star Wars, maybe even the Marvel shows. Overall, it was just so much stuff to talk about in this episode. If you're new to this channel, this is Nerding at 30, and we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett, or should I say the Book of Mando, right? The Book of Mando Fett. We were going to have spoilers, so if you have not watched the latest episode, haven't even seen it, then you don't want to be in this. We are going to talk about stuff. The funniest part was Boba wasn't even in it. It was the best Book of Boba Fett episode, and he wasn't in it, and maybe that's why. Okay, so it was phenomenal. From top to bottom, I think my only little gripe with it is there's like a couple of moments, but other than that, like, and it's not even gripes. It's like small little things. Like, for instance, the start of the actual episode. Start of the actual episode is like a slaughterhouse, meat plant, whatever. And I honestly don't really like this because it felt like too earthy. I don't know if that's for anybody else. But when the silhouette comes in, I was like, that's not Boba. Like, you could see the swagger. You could see the swagger of Mando when he walked in front of the door. I was like, oh, that's Mando. And obviously, as soon as he opens it, it goes, doo-doo-doo, and you're like, yes. And here's the biggest problem, okay, that I have with this episode, is that they put this episode into the middle of Boba Fett. Okay, I want more of Mando now, and now we have to wait till season 3, which is God knows how long. Okay, like, this shows this. My biggest gripe with this shows how bad Book of Boba Fett is. Right? Bryce Dallas directed this one, and she did a phenomenal. Bryce Dallas, right? That's her name. Bryce Dallas Howard, Howard's daughter. She did a fantastic job. All right. So anyway, he comes in, he starts walking through the plant, starts strutting through, and then this is a callback to episode 1 of the Mando. He comes in, he puts the fob down on the table, says, "I'm looking for you." I got the, he's got the key fob. He knows it's the person. Drops it on the table, and then all of a sudden he goes, I'll take you in warm, I'll take you in cold. It's the exact callback to the very first episode, and then it gets awesome, right? Then he starts fighting, and he pulls out the Darksaber, and I was like, yes. Now, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about the Darksaber, because the last time we saw Mando was at the end of Season 2, when they were all on the ship, and he was handing it to Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan couldn't take it, and then Grogu went bye-bye, and that was it. And I remember I was like, well, what's happening? Where are they going to start with this? Where are they going to, like, they like flashbacks now. Okay. So now we see him with the saber in Mando season 3. Are we going to get a flashback of what happened after the moment Grogu left, right? To bring it up to present day of what's happening here, as far as he's got the saber, walks completely away from Bo-Katan. There's no issue. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on here. But then the fight happens, and he starts wielding the sword, and obviously he's having problems with the sword. He's not as skilled. Okay. Then this guy just starts blasting at his Beskar armor, and he comes over, stabs him, flips him over on the table, and then all of a sudden does this big, slices him in half. I was like, holy Christ. I had to pause for a second and make sure I was watching Disney Plus. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is better than anything I've ever seen. Right? We have, think about this. We had 4 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and he never shoots his goddamn weapon. Never really gets in a big ass fight. Like, the fight scenes were terrible. And then we get this, the very first like 4 minutes of the show, and it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong, right? Like it was amazing. The choreography, the fighting, the fear, like how dark it is, right? So he walks out the door. He's cut his own leg. He cut his own leg with the saber. He comes out, and everyone's looking at him. They're about to fight him. Okay, they're about to fight him, and he says, "Look, I have no qualms with you. Okay, there's Republic credits in there that I have no right to. You guys can go in there. Your boss is dead. I have a bounty. Blah blah blah." Right now, obviously, the bounty that he's doing is meant not really for the credits. I would believe. I think it's more to find his Kree. So they all run past him, and he's got the guy's head in the bag, and then the show starts, and then we see this massive, massive ring, and the first thing, I mean, everyone sees is you're thinking Halo. Right off the bat, you're like, oh, this is like Halo. So Halo confirmed is in the same universe. No, I'm kidding. But you look at that city, and you're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So he goes to the city, drops off the head, and they're like, oh, please sit with us. He's like, no, just give me the credits. Take your credits back. I'll take this to someone else. No, you can keep it. He just wants to know where his creed is, right? He wants to find where the armorer is. Takes the armor, walks up, and then all of a sudden he's in the elevator. He's got the like little fart scene that goes on, and then he like a little awkward sequence there, and then he starts to walk. In the lower area, lower of the city. Starts to look at his visor. His visor sees this infrared of where the logos are of his people. Okay. And obviously the store is the mythosaurs is the symbol that he's looking for, and he finally finds it, and then he goes in, and there's only 2 left. There's I believe his name is Paz Vizsla, and the armorer down there. Okay. Now Paz is played by Jon Favreau, and those of you that don't know, if you've never seen Clone Wars, Jon Favreau played Tar Vizsla as well, who was the ancestor of Paz. And this is why he says later on, this is from my people. They forged it, bring it back to my ancestors, whatnot. This was a cool scene, though. They're like underneath this ring. They're underneath this ring. The armorer is like meditating or praying underneath, and it's just a drop into space right below them. Okay. She says, help him. So Paz helps him heal, and she asks him, what did this to you? And he shows him the sword, and then all of a sudden you see this look that Paz gives him. And it's like, you can see his like, ooh, he knows what it is. And then we find out that his ancestors forged it or whatnot, and he brings it over to the armorer, and the armorer turns it on and says that, it takes a will of a person to wield this weapon. And then she starts to tell us the actual backstory of the Mandalorians and how they existed for thousands, 10,000 years, matter of fact, before the Empire, before all these things, and how Mandalorian thrived. And he knows the dark saber, knows how, we all know because of, can't win. He has to win it in combat. Did you win it in combat? He said, yes, I did. Did you kill the person? No, I didn't. I brought him to justice. And yet, Paz is like, well, he deserves to die for what he did, right? Because he's basically slaughtered all of Mandalore, right? With the great purge that we've always heard. So he says, I defeated Moff Gideon, and he turned him into the New Republic for interrogation. Okay, and he says he's got the blood of millions on his hands, and he should get the death penalty. So as they go about, they start talking and said, where did you get the sword? Tells him where to get the sword. Where did you get the spear? Says a Jedi gave him the spear. And then she goes on and says that the spear is dangerous because Beskar should be used for armor and not for weapons, because it could pierce through the Beskar armor. So she takes it down and melts it. Now, I thought this was a little weird. I felt I was like, something's weird with her, right? Taking his weapons away from him and whatnot. But then I was like, it's moving the story forward because obviously he makes armor for Grogu, right? So she starts to tell the story. She starts to tell the story of Bo-Katan and the tail and how bad the tail was of in Clone Wars. If you guys watch Clone Wars, Bo-Katan was given the saber by Sabine, right? Which is another character if you guys don't know. And because she handed it to her, it was like a jinx. It was like superstition of if you give this sword to her and she took it because she didn't win it in combat, it brings, a curse over the people of Mandalore. And that's basically what happened. That's where they all got blown up. And they showed this scene of these TIE bombers. And this is another, I was like, are we watching Disney Plus? I was like, this is amazing, right? So the TIE bombers start flying overhead and just start laying waste. There's hundreds, it looks like thousands of TIE bombers just bombing. And you see these major explosions, and then you see the big dome. Now, the dome is gigantic. I mean, we're talking like state size, right? Like the population of a state, like inside this dome, and it gets blown up to smithereens. And then you see this like one scene of like the droids coming in and just wiping out anybody that's left. Very Terminator-ish, definitely very Terminator-ish. You see a lot of different droids in there. The droids that were shooting everybody was the same droids. I forget the names off the top of my head, but it's the same droids from Rogue One. And then they come back, and he says, I would like to forge it into armor for Grogu. And she's like, okay. So she melts it down and then makes like a chain link armor and then ties it up in a little handkerchief or whatever. And I think it's chain armor, right? Because we see all the little circles happening. So I'm assuming that's what she made. She made chain armor. So turns it into this little bow, and it looks like Grogu's face, basically. And then the next scene happens, and they're fighting. The armorer is hitting him and training him with the sword. So like a little montage of him, and he's saying to you that the sword's becoming heavier, right? The more I wield it, the heavier it becomes. And she starts to tell him, you have to learn it, right? Meaning, I'm assuming that the way she's saying it, you have to, like, you're the rightful heir of this. And he talks about that he has to see Grogu in the scene before this. And she says that the Jedi need to separate. And he says that's the opposite of what their clan does, right? Where it's about loyalty and, and family and whatnot. So the opposite of Jedi need to be in solitude. And he wants to see Grogu to make sure that he's okay. Well, because him wielding the sword, if he was clear-headed, right? If he was clear-headed, he would be able to wield the sword much better. But in the back of his mind, he has all this turmoil of maybe he doesn't really want the sword, but he has the sword, but he's really worried about Grogu, and he hasn't accepted that he might be the leader of Mandalore going in the future. Obviously, I think it'll all change, but I think he will end up the leader of Mandalore at the end, season 3, season 4, or whatnot. So they start fighting. And then he's all tired because he's like, I can't wield this or whatever, And all of a sudden, Paz comes in and says, well, maybe you don't deserve to wield it, right? And he threatens to fight. And you can see Mando all of a sudden's like, now it's like whip it out type of thing, right? He's like, I'm challenging you. And he's like, oh, really? Well, then let's go, right? And I thought this was pretty cool. Now, this is another callback to they're fighting on a goddamn catwalk, and again, no railings, right? We know no railings in Star Wars. OSHA doesn't live in that galaxy. So Paz comes out and says, I'm gonna take back what's rightfully mine for my people, and they start fighting, and Mando is just getting his ass whooped when it comes to fighting with the sword. You can see Paz, or Jon Favreau's character, stab him with the vibranium sword or dagger, and it doesn't pierce through it. And they start fighting, and he picks him up and chucks him, and they start fighting back and forth. Another great fight scene. Now, we've had 2 fantastic fight scenes within the first 10 minutes of this episode, which is more than I can say about all of Boba Fett. Yeah, he had to learn to swing it at the will of the sword instead of trying to make the sword swing at his will. Right. Like, he has to accept it, right? He has to accept it. He has to let the sword take him over instead of him trying to force the sword. Yeah. So they have a fight, and then you can see he's quick, and his agility and stuff is great with the knife and the dagger, but it's not good with the sword. So you can see he has a long way to go to learn to fight with the sword. Now, if this was the prequels, I'm not sorry, not the prequels. The next trilogy with Rey, she would have picked up the black saber and she would have swung it around with the ease because she was the bestest at everything. But Mando has to learn to use the sword and train with the sword, and I think this will be interesting going forward when they do this. Now, here comes a little point here in the show where the armorer asks Paz, "Have you removed your helmet?" With no hesitation, he's like, "No, I have not." And then she goes to Din Djarin and says, "Did you remove your helmet?" And he's dead quiet, right? Dead quiet. And then she asks again, and she's like, "Yes." Well, then you are no longer part of the Kree, right? And then get out of here. So he takes his stuff. Now, I don't think this means he's gone forever. She talks about to him that, look, if you want to repent, basically, you need to find the mines of the water flowing underneath, in Mandalore. So he says it got destroyed, and this is his next quest, right? If you're playing an MMO, if you're playing a video game, this is his next quest. So this will be the quest line that he has to go on in Season 3, okay? Which I thought was a good setup, because if he cleanses himself to come back to this, then I think it opens up for him becoming the leader of Mandalore in the future. Now, there's two different types here, right? Paz represents Death Watch, and the Armorer represents, I forget what someone in chat, please help me here. I forget what Darth Maul's clan was when he took over the Mandalorians, right? But if you look at the Armorer's helmet, even from Season 1 to now, she has the horns on her helmet, right? Meaning she probably swore to Darth Maul once he was leader, okay? Where Paz, Vesla, is part of Death Watch, right? I forget what that other group was called. Darth Maul's it wasn't the same as his other group that he created later, the Crimson Dawn. Gritter says, I wonder if the lightsaber's the same way or the darksaber's just different in regards of being able to swing it. No, they never. Well, they could, Gritter, but I don't think so. I think the lightsaber is completely different than the darksaber. The darksaber almost wields like an old school like King Arthur sword. You know what I mean? They don't really say it. Duke says maybe you shouldn't have allowed the lady to take the spear, or at least all of it. Right. I'm sure they'll do something down the road and he'll get some other weapon. I mean, he's got the saber, so he doesn't really need the spear and the saber, right? The wielder of the dark saber should have said to her, I say, what is the way now? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm holding the sword. I don't know if you've noticed this, and what I say goes, so I'm changing the Kree, right? The Shadow Collective. Thank you very much, Stealth. Thank you. So as this whole scene goes down, he leaves and gets on a commercial flight, basically. I thought this scene was a little funny, right? He walks through the metal detector, and then all of a sudden, he's got to empty his pockets, and I thought it was pretty funny. I'm okay with the humor like that. The droid that talks to him is the droid from Star Tours, which I thought was also pretty funny. And then the ship that they're getting onto, I think was a shout-out to the new hotel, because I believe it's called the same type of thing, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought it was funny. He's emptying his things, emptying his whistles. He's putting his whole thing, he's emptying his knives out of his pocket, his guns. He's got like 15 weapons inside there, and he's like, I know everything that's in there, right? So I thought it was pretty funny. He gets on the commercial flight, and as they take off, he's looking out the window, and there's a little child in front of him looking back at him, and all of a sudden he gets memories of Grogu, right, for the child. And he puts his head down and starts to look at the chainmail or whatever armor he's created for Grogu. And it's literally shaped as his, and while he's looking at it, the music from Grogu plays in the background. So then they land in Tatooine. And as he gets off, he opens up the crate and gets all his stuff. And then here's the next cool little Easter egg that comes in. Okay, it goes to what's her name? Pelmito, Amy's character, where she's the mechanic. And we see the BD droid. Now, this is a BD-1 droid. Now, I don't think this is Cal Kestis' BD-1 droid, okay? It's a BD-1 droid, and I thought maybe it could be the BD-1 droid. Now, which is two things here. I thought it was weird that they showed this droid because, obviously, the reason they're showing it is to tell us a little bit something down the road, and I think Cal Kestis will make an appearance somewhere down the line in episodes or season 3 or season 4. Now, here's this is what I thought was going to happen. As they were fixing the ship and he was helping him, you can see Mando like accept Robot's help and stuff like that. He's come a long way from where he was in season 1. But the BD droid, okay, obviously it doesn't have the same paint job as BD-1 from Jedi Fallen Order. Now, it might be, I know you're like, well, how would this be, right? But she has a lot of droids. She's got from New Hope, she's got from the prequels, right? And now she's got the BD-1 droid. Now, again, this might not be, but they did a shout-out. One with the BD-1 droid, and also the BD-1 droid in this episode has an injured foot that he got attacked by the swamp rat or whatever, okay? And it's the same injury that BD-1 had when he met Cal Kestis in the video game. So I don't think it is the BD-1 droid of Cal Kestis, but it's a big shout out. Now, like I said, what I thought was going to happen is that he was going to get in the ship with Mando. He was going to be his droid because they removed the actual the mech droid type of stuff connection in the fighter. So I thought maybe he was going to go with him. Now, if he does go with him, which he still could, they didn't show him going off with him or anything, but if he does go off with Mando, he could technically meet Cal Kestis again. We don't know how they got separated. We don't know anything, right? If they did get separated. Or it could just be a BD-1 droid. But it was a cool shout-out, cool Easter egg for the actual droid to be in the show. But I think that's an Easter egg more towards Cal Kestis will be in the show come season 3, come season 4. So Mando saves her from the big monster that's attacking her or whatnot, and then she says, "I have a ship for you." Okay, I have a ship for you, and he's like, "All right, well, where's the ship?" And it's not the Razor Crest. Okay, so more toy sales coming along. He'll go off with him because he needs Mando to have a funny sidekick, right? And that was my thought process, Duke. Right? That's my thought process. He might need someone to talk to until he replaces Grogu, if Grogu ever comes back into the fold, right? So as they're walking, she uncovers the N1 ship, okay? And obviously, now this is another lookout here. This is another Easter egg. This is another shout out. Now, this is the same fighter jet that Anakin used in episodes 1, okay? Now, could this be Anakin's ship? Sure, but I don't think it is. I think it's a shout out to the actual starfighter ship, and it's just another nod. I thought it was really cool, though. One of the questions I have about the ship, though, is that his last ship had, like, sleeping quarters, and it had all this other amenities, you can say, like a bathroom, an area to stay. This literally just has a cockpit, and that's it, okay? Where does he store his bounties now? Is he just chopping off heads and putting them in the cabin with him this entire time? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to store it. So I don't think this is going to last very long, to be honest with you. I don't think this is going to last very long. I think this is the ship going forward for the next season, but after that, it's gone. He'll get a new ship. There'll be some sort of joke or something that he can't hold on to ships or whatnot, and then I have a feeling that he will get Boba Fett's ship down the line. I have a feeling. I don't know why, but I just have a gut feeling that he will take the Slave One or the Starfire or whatever, the Starflare, whatever they call it. Yes. All right, so there's this whole montage making this fighter pilot back into working order. She's selling him a ship and also wants him. What's it called? Wants to have him help her build it, even though he's paying for it. So there's a couple of humor things in this show that I was like, when she talks to about the Jawas. I dated a Jawa once. They're very furry, and she's like, that type of stuff. I was like, okay, I know she's like this weird character, and I totally get it. And it fits her character. But as the Jawas come in, he's like, wait, they can get you anything? They can get you anything you ask for? And she's like, yeah. They just tell him what you want, and they go get it. So he asks for this converter, and they bring him back. They bring him back this pipe, and I was like, that looks familiar. And it's the same pipe that Han Solo uses in New Hope when they're in the trash compactor. He uses it to wedge the wall up, so, or the trash compactor from closing in, which I thought was pretty cool. So I like this whole thing, right? So then they fix the actual ship. He looks at the BD droid. Where does this go? He scans it. He shows it where he is. And I'm telling you, I think they're going to have a buddy moment type of thing. Now, droids get changed all the time, right? They get worked on and moved and different things. They leave long lives because they're robots. So a part of me in the back of my head still thinks that the BD-1 droid might be more than just a BD-1 droid. To see the Naboo fighter flying through Beggar's Canyon with some awesome callbacks. Oh, yeah. So as he goes in the test flight, first of all, I love that the motor's up on top, so it's like an old, like, souped-up old muscle car, which I thought was pretty cool. So she's like, give it a spin. So they have that same sound of the engine kicking on. It's always been in Star Wars. And then he starts to open it up and starts to go down the pod racing path of that Anakin did back in the day. You can even see the ramp off to the side where he uses, you know what I mean? They have a callback of Luke Skywalker with the swamp rat, or with the rat. Okay, like there's little things here and there, and I thought it was really cool. Right, just the whole thing. This whole episode was just a callback, an Easter egg, a shout out. It was very good all around. So I thought it was funny because they introduced the X-Wing pilots back in season 2 as like the police officers, right, of the galaxy, which I thought was pretty funny. And he's flying over and doing all these maneuvers and going super fast, and then he gets called over by the cops. And the cops start talking to him, and one of the pilots is the same guy who was looking into certain events that were going on in season 2. And one of the pilots is the Luke stand-in that was in behind the scenes. If you watch behind the scenes, you'll know that the actor that played Luke Skywalker, he was a stand-in for Luke, so he played the other pilot that was doing the talking, most of the talking. The pilot asks him if, hey, did you have a Razor Quest and that blew up or whatever, blah blah blah. And as soon as he sees that, he doesn't go to hyperspace, but he pushes the button, and it's gone. Right? He goes to light. I forget what they called it. I forget what they called it. Light. It wasn't light speed, obviously, but it was awesome. I was like, Mando is everything that we wanted Boba Fett to be, and this episode just proves to me that Boba is just not the character. We love Mando. This episode of Mando was second to none. This was the best Mandalorian episode, and it was inside the Book of Boba Fett. At the end of the show, he lands and says, your friend was looking for you, but I locked it down, and blah, blah, blah. And Fennec is there and says, Boba needs your help. Okay, and he's like, well, I'll do it for free, throws the money back at her, and then says, but I have to do something first. Now, this is what I'm a little confused about now. Okay. Is the next episode going to be another episode of the Mando as he finds Grogu? Because if it's not, and it goes to episode 6 of Boba and he's helping, are we going to go, like, how much time has passed from when he leaves to go find Grogu and when he helps Boba Fett for the muscle? Are we going to have a moment where time span moves along? he goes and finds Grogu in season 3. And then they do flashbacks from the moment he leaves here to helping Grogu, and then comes back to help Boba in Mando season 3. This is what I'm a little confused about now, because the way they talk about it, he's like, before I help you, I have to go visit a friend, a small friend. So I was like, so is next episode going to be another episode of Boba Fett with Mando, or is it going to be an actual episode of Boba Fett? Now, we're coming down to the nitty-gritty here. We have episode 6 and episode 7, and they have a lot to do to fill in the gaps here for Boba Fett. And going from this episode to going back to one of those boring fucking episodes that we've seen, I mean, let's be honest. I was being very, very kind the last couple episodes because we had nothing to compare it to, because Book of Boba Fett was Book of Boba Fett. But this episode in the Boba Fett show was hands down the best Mandalorian episode in seasons 1 and 2, and the best episode in the Book of Boba Fett, and Boba Fett wasn't even in this episode, right? Which is the sad part, because this just shows the glaring problems that Mando's just a much better character than what we thought Boba Fett would be. Now, if episode 6 and episode 7 come in and Boba acts more like he was in episode 5 of the Mando, now think about that for a second, the mirroring of it. Because episode 5 in the Mando was more of a Boba Fett episode, and episode 5 in the Boba Fett episode was more of a Mando episode. Okay? So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I don't know how they're going to move forward with this, but overall, I thought the writing was much better. The lore bits and the Easter eggs, everything about this is what we want. To me, this was even better with all the lore bits, okay, and the fighting sequences. Even though the Luke Skywalker end scene is like the really cool, this overall as the episode was hands down the best episode. And then the Luke Skywalker episode at the end of season 2 was really good as well. Sun thrusters or something along the lines. Let's see. About the best Mando episode, but it was really good nonetheless. I mean, you have your opinion, I have mine. I think this was the best Mando episode, and it's definitely the best Boba Fett episode, hands down. This episode drew me in. Yeah. It's too bad the first 4 episodes were lackluster. Mando may be the Skywalker moment at the end of the final episode. He comes back with Grogu. Maybe. But then that would be... See, here's the thing I don't want to pay off like that, though, Gritter. Right? Grogu left to go train with Luke Skywalker. Grogu shouldn't come back and be with him the entire time. It's going to be this struggle of that he's never had family. He's never been a part of a group. Okay? And I think that Mando's going to become the leader of the Mandalorians, and he's going to lead the people by the end of the series, right? If it's season 4 or whatever, he will be the leader of the Mandos, okay? Now, as far as Grogu might come back, but then leave again, right? And I think that'll be a growing part of Mando's character growth, because if he sees him again, then he knows that he cares for him and he wants to see him, he wants to protect him, and then they go their separate ways, and then that's it. Like, you don't see it. So he's going to need something else to move forward. So the adventures that he has to go on in season 3 to go find this well to cleanse himself so he can become part of the Creed again, I think we're going to get like an episode or an adventure with Ahsoka or Luke or Grogu or whoever moving forward. And I have a feeling that BD-1 droid might go with him moving forward. How many episodes through? It was only 6. How many episodes, though? It was only 6. This is the 5th one. Boba Fett is just boring, and Mando is more charisma. So much better. He's such a total character. Grown adults were crying. It was all over the place on social media. It's subjective, but majority of the yeah. But that's, you're looking at a moment, right? I don't care about people crying and about the Skywalker episode, right? Of course, I got emotional with that. That's a moment in an episode. That one moment in the episode doesn't make the whole episode better, right? It was a great episode and it had a great finale. But as far as this with the lore of Mando, I love the shout outs. There was callbacks to Rebels, there was callbacks to Clone Wars, there's callbacks to everything. This episode had so much lore and bits, okay? That to me this was it had action, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. This to me is number 1 and the Skywalker episode is number 2. But the moment for Skywalker obviously is a bigger moment. Being honest, I give this episode as one of the best episodes, but not the best in my opinion. Wolverine, people were crying because the Tusken village was blown up. Yeah. So overall, fantastic episode. And now we have to bring back our expectations because now we're going back to Boba, right? We're going back to Boba. I don't think they're going to do 2 Mando episodes in a row. I could be wrong, but I just feel like, are you going to go do a Grogu episode now? Are you going to go have him go find Grogu and then leave again and then come back and see episode 7 to do the big battle, whatever it's going to happen? I don't know. All right, so those are my thoughts. I thought it was a fantastic episode. This show's going to be a shorter episode because I know it doesn't look like it, but I have a temperature and I'm not feeling very well, so I need to go rest. So I'm going to bring a call in now. We can talk for the next 45 to an hour, and then it's going to be a hard out for me. So let me bring in... I'm going to bring you in, Zhang. Let me make sure the volume is up. What's going on, man? What'd you think of this episode?
It was the best Boba Fett episode.
Yeah, it was the best Boba Fett episode, and Boba Fett wasn't in it.
Yeah. He saw more Fennec.
Yeah.
I was honestly shocked. Wonder what he was doing. He was probably in the back to tank.
He was in the back to tank. Yeah, he was
just having another flashback. He was like, man, I remember helping him. Get him. I'm going to remember everything I can about him. Just sit in the back to tank.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess my one thing is I'm interested to see how he got away.
You broke up there. Say again. Are you there?
I guess I'm now interested to see how he got away from Bo-Katan with the Darksaber.
Yeah, I have a big question. I had a question about that before we even saw this, right? Because I was like, how are they going to... Because I thought season 3 would literally start like seconds after season 2.
Yeah, because logically, Bo-Katan would immediately be like, well, no. Either I'm going to have to fight him, give him the Darksaber, and you give me your spear real quick. I'll beat him, and then I'll be the leader. Or I fight you, and then you kill me?
No, well, here's the thing. As they say, I don't think you have to kill to win the saber. I think we misspoke that. Like
no,
a lot.
But that's what happened.
No,
that was tradition in Clone Wars, unless they change that.
Well, no, if you remember when Sabine actually won it, she never killed.
She was handed it.
No, she beat him in combat, had him at the throat, and then she won it, and then she handed it to Bo-Katan, right? So she fought and won, but she didn't kill the guy.
Yeah. So logic, is that guy dead though? Logically, he was old.
Well, so I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess now in this age, he would be dead.
He can't be the wielder, so it would be the last person to beat him, and then she handed it to him, and that's what caused dismay across all the clans.
Right. Well, which caused because when she handed it to Bo-Katan, Bo-Katan took it and then raised it up in the Clone Wars, right? And some Mandalorians were like, we don't look at you as the queen because you didn't earn it. You were handed it to it, right? So, and then also brought a curse on the people, and that's what happened with the Great Purge. And that's when Moff Gideon came over and blew up everybody and killed millions of people and took the sword.
That's weird. That was in the late years. When did that Rebels arc happen? That was like in the last season.
The Rebels happened, it would be 19 years before this.
What?
Yeah, because...
Wait, did it take place?
No, because Rebels takes place 4 years before New Hope.
No, the final season.
Yeah, the final season takes place 1 year before New Hope.
What? No, the final season of Rebel takes place. What is it? It's at the end of the war. They even celebrate. They're like the end of the war happened.
Of Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, the what is it? What's it called? The Empire of
Oh
they
yeah, but
lost.
that was a flashback. They talk about it going into the future, and they won the war. But the actual episode, like the last bit of Rebels, talks about yes, like they win the war, and Hera is a general inside the.
It was a time skip.
Like the actual show though takes place 4 years before New Hope. The last, like, I don't know what, 4 minutes when Sabine is talking in a voiceover, and they're trying to find, and she talks about trying to find Ezra, and Ahsoka comes to her, and they go they go off to this thing, and it's a fast forward into the future. It's
Why
like
did they
6
skip
years
so
in the
many
future.
years? They skipped so many years. I really thought, huh? So
No,
what?
the end of four, or the end of the season of Rebels takes place before New Hope, and then the last little bit is a fast forward to like 6 years or whatever it is of them going on an adventure to try to find Ezra, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh? But um, yeah, I guess the Darksaber thing is just weird to me. It's that's really my weird. Another thing, if he got like a small handful of I don't know what it is for Grogu,
Mhm.
I would not give up my spear.
Well, you got to remember
That's
you got to remember in
yeah,
his
I know, but
place.
it's still like
Well, you got to
it's still
remember in
like
his place though, he's trying to be selfless, where he
he's also the
is.
king of Mandalore. So.
Yeah, exactly, but he's trying to fit in. He's trying to abide by the Kree, and she's the most knowledgeable person that he knows, right?
Wouldn't Bo-Katan be?
No, what I'm saying is he respects her. He doesn't know Bo-Katan except for the episodes that he was in, right? He knows of the armorer and the wisdom that she has, so he like follows her and what she says because she's the most knowledgeable. Because he's still young in this whole uh, life of Mando, right?
I guess it's
Of
just me.
Mandalorian.
I wouldn't have given up all of my spear.
Well,
It's
I
just
think again
it's
him
like
breaking
I
down the
give my
spear and
best
making
weapon,
armor for Grogu is a bigger thing, right?
but like it was a small little bag. I guess she must have melted it into something fantastic.
I think it's chain armor, like chainmail for him.
All of that?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was something else. He probably asked for extra armor.
No, that's just a
He
really
had
small
to have.
bag, and it folds down. And you saw the rings when they were breaking it down. So I think it's chain armor.
I hope he got something else. We just didn't see it yet because I don't know. I wouldn't have given up that spear. I'm so much better with the spear. I beat Moff Gideon. And he had the dark saber. He had it longer. He was probably more skilled than me with the saber, and I beat him with the spear. It's like I'll keep the spear. It's like Cap giving away his shield because
Right.
Wakanda asked for it. It's like, wait, no.
Yeah,
It's just
I thought the whole fight scene, and they do reference that the sword is heavy because when I remember when Sabine was also fighting with the dark saber with Cannon, and he was saying that she was saying it's heavier, it's old, it's different, it's not like a lightsaber or whatever. So they reference that in this where it's saying it's heavy.
is that because it's Beskar?
Um, no,
Or
I think it
because
has something to do, and again, they don't really tell you. I think it's because of the crystal, the dark crystal, and the way it is. I don't know.
uh, because lightsabers weren't heavy. I pointed out two people that didn't even have the force, and they what was it? Finn and Cat Bane used it, and they were just
Well, they
fine.
mentioned Finn having force ability because supposedly he was supposed to start training
Yeah, but that was
as a
in
Jedi.
episode 9. I'm talking about episode 7.
Well, he still has.
Cad Bane?
No, Finn.
Oh
He
no, but Cad Bane's also another person that didn't have force, and like
right, but did he really wield it? He
yeah,
used
he
it,
was fighting Kenobi for a bit.
I guess, but
Yeah, he didn't have an issue.
he's just a skilled fighter though, right?
Yeah, but I guess
I mean, I could use a sword. I'm not a skilled fighter, but I can use a sword. I can
yeah, but he
swing
wasn't
it
that.
around. Anyone can touch a
Yeah.
lightsaber. It's not like they can't operate it.
Boba Fett also used a lightsaber,
Yeah.
and he was just sure he wasn't able to beat Darth Vader. But
Right. I think next episode we are definitely going to get
uh, we're gonna see the Red
Crimson
Legion.
Dawn in there.
Because we're gonna see them. It's like thank you for waiting until the last possible second.
I just have a feeling that Boba Fett's just a filler episode for Mando season 3.
Yeah, this whole time it's just like, man, I'm gonna go back and watch this episode, and I'm gonna be like, crap, I forgot what happened in Boba Fett. I don't.
What if Boba Fett's whole
It's a
episode, even
season
though it's
2.
called the Book of Boba Fett, what about if this was just to see him get out of the Sarlacc pit and get back to whatever, but then the last couple episodes are all Mando?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I need to borrow your ship, and that's obviously a Boba.
Right,
And then
right.
we get, it's gonna suck if we get a season 2 of him. I'd rather just the last 2 episodes be about him and get him over with.
All right, I'm gonna bring Krebsy in real fast.
Oh yeah, they gonna just. That's weird. I hope they don't show Grogu. That's gonna be weird.
I don't know if they're gonna show him next episode, but the way they make it sound at the end of this episode, he literally says, "I'll help Boba, but I have to go stop and see someone first." Right? Well, if this episode ends and then number 6 we go back to Boba, right, and then we see Mando come back in, like, let's say episode 7. Maybe we won't see the episode with him seeing Grogu. It'll be in season 3, him going there, and then it's like a jump. You know what I mean? It'll be like a flashback of him, what he did when he went to go see Grogu, but he doesn't stay there. I don't know. It's weird the way they're setting it up.
I think they're gonna do this. He's gonna leave. Boba's gonna try to get more forces, right?
Of course,
In the
yeah.
final episode, we will see the Crimson Dawn show up, and there will be a meeting between Boba Fett and him. And the Crimson Dawn will roast Boba Fett because it's that easy. And that'll be the end of season 1.
Mm.
And I think they're gonna try to do a season 2 with Boba. And that's gonna lead into that. And that's how we're gonna see Mando come back. See, at the end of Mando season 3, we're going to see him get Grogu, and he'll come back with Grogu in Boba Fett. We'll see him there.
Interesting. I could see that happening.
Especially
I just don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do as far as the next 2 episodes. I'll help him, but I got to go visit someone first. So I'm assuming that's letting us know that Mando's not going to be around next episode unless they find him, unless they make another episode with him in it.
Wouldn't it be funny he uses the Bacta tank and he's a season of Mando's present day? It's just like, I can see the present day now.
I think they're done with the back to tank total. What's going on, Krebsy?
Oh, he gets bombed.
You know what they could do is they could have hid something from us, and secretly Cara Dune's gonna be in the show, and that's who Mando's gonna go see.
Who?
Cara Dune, Gina Carano's character.
You think she's going to come back?
Could be.
That'd be interesting.
An old. What was his exact words? An old friend?
Yeah, well, a small friend.
Oh.
He says a small friend because he's talking about Grogu.
I mean, small friend. I mean, it could be play on words.
It is a play on
Being
words.
funny.
For his
Being
small
funny.
friend, Grogu.
I mean, wasn't it? Fennec saw a Grogu, and she also saw Cara Dune. So it's like, why are you referring to this? Just tell me her name if it's her. Like, technically, she doesn't know that his name is Grogu. I'm thinking.
Who?
Fennec.
She would know his name. She met him in season 2.
No, I mean. Okay. Huh.
He's just saying to her, "I'll help Boba, but I have to go visit a small friend first."
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think they're gonna stretch
That's
it out
just
to do a
that's
season.
that's just the way he says it. She knows who she's talking about. He doesn't have to say, "I'm gonna go see my little green friend Grogu." You remember him, the one that was Jedi Force powers that he came on the ship. I don't think he has to say that. He's just saying, "I have to go see my I have to go make visit my small friend or whatever, little friend, little stop, whatever the words were."
I'm telling you, Cara Dune.
Do you think if she comes back, they're gonna? Well, not her, because she's done with Disney. Are they just gonna recast her or give some one-off line?
I don't think they're gonna recast her.
Did they ever get over the business between them, or what happened?
What Disney doesn't know doesn't hurt them. She could have walked on set for one day, shot something, and it's in the show.
Yeah.
What's she
Yeah,
got a promotion?
the
right?
line he says is, "I got to pay a visit to a little friend," is what he says.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Grogu.
Of course
I
it
really
is.
think they're gonna stretch it out.
Of course
They're
it's
gonna
Grogu.
stretch it out.
Grogu shows up in Boba Fett minus the post-credit scene. The show's awful.
Nah, I think Grogu will show up in season. If
I just don't know
Just
if they do another Mando episode back to back.
that's why I'm thinking, hey, we're gonna go back to Boba Fett. Last 2 episodes, Boba Fett related. We're gonna get Mando season 3. We're probably gonna see.
Well, then
Um,
that would negate Mando going there and Fennec asking for help if they're
Well,
going
no,
to
that's
do the
this is
battle.
what I'm
no, no,
saying
no.
though.
You
Like,
do what happened right after the end of season 2 of Mando for like the first, I don't know how many episodes,
right.
and then you do certain amount of episodes. You show like him talking to Fennec and just a quick clip show of what happened in this.
Yeah,
and then you
so
just go
so
straight to the
basically
last
what's going to
one.
happen in my opinion is that next episode goes back to Boba Fett. Okay? At that episode, we're assuming that Mando went to go visit Grogu. We don't know the time span. They never tell you how much time has passed, right? It's just this like weird thing. Days, weeks, months, they don't really tell you anything. And when episode 7 comes back, if Mando's there to help him fight whatever happens in episode 7, during episode 6, when he's not in the show, during season 3, there'll be an episode where Mando goes and visits Grogu, and that would be the spot that it happened in between episode 6 and 7 in Boba
I
Fett.
agree. They don't need Mando in the next episode. Just have him come back from his journey.
Yeah,
in
he
7.
comes back from his journey in episode 7.
Yeah.
And
Does he
he
know-
could have
Oh.
Grogu, and you're like, oh shit! And then now episode or season 3 tells you what's happening. I honestly though don't want him to get Grogu like that. I'd rather have him go on this journey, in season 3 to get the well right and take whoever he has to on that journey.
I'm glad we both think that's going to be the plot for season 3.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm-
That's his
I'm
next quest line.
extremely
That's why
glad
they
he
set it up
shut
like
up.
that.
I hope he just leaves that part of it.
What's
He's
that?
like, no, the way. What's its clan called? What's the how to say it properly?
Oh, that his creed that he wants
Yeah.
to be a part of?
Yeah, this maybe he'll go on a realization that maybe I shouldn't be
Well, both
part of this creed. Maybe Bo-Katan isn't that bad. Maybe I could rule Mandalore.
but
maybe-
Bo-Katan doesn't follow the same rules, so therefore it means that he could just create his own rules.
He could create his own creed. Is that not?
Yeah, but here's the thing: he holds the saber, but doesn't have the
doesn't-
he doesn't hold anything against the other people. No one knows about him in Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like he's just a guy with the sword, and he has to prove himself. So
maybe
What if Mando assassinates Boba and take his spot?
that would be.
I don't think that's happening.
I would have loved. Man, I'm very intrigued to see how he got the sword now, or how he got away. In better words, how he got away, because that conversation or situation must have been weird. Hey, Bo-Katan, I promise you that fight. Goodbye. Just
So
leaves.
so Wolvie, you think him saying, "I'll help him, but first I have to go visit a little friend." You think he's going to come back next episode and help Boba regardless? He just said, "Before I help you, I have to go visit a little friend." He literally says that. So why would he be here next episode to help Boba?
He has his priorities straight. He's thinking, I should go visit him. I consider this a bigger deal and more personal than Boba Fett's war, essentially. I want to go visit someone I'm close to compared to the guy that tried to kill me. And now I'm fine with.
You should read IGN's review of this episode. It's hilarious.
What did they say?
They were like, "This episode is okay. It doesn't have anything to do with the plot of Boba Fett, so we're just gonna say it's average."
Well, I mean, they're right that it has nothing to do with Boba Fett, but overall arc, it Mando and Boba Fett are on the same. They're still in the same plane, right? They're telling a bigger story. And then they gave a shit ton of information of what's going to happen for season 3 and season 4 going forward, right?
This is how
They basically just set up the whole season 3 and 4 with the black saber and him going on his next quest. So quest number 1 in season 3 is to get cleansed, right?
Which should be like 2 episodes.
No, it'll be like the whole season, and then episode or season 4 will be him like with the black saber trying to.
How do you take? I'm sorry.
I think the well thing's gonna be like 4 episodes if they keep the 8-episode Mando seasons.
Well, what else could they talk about? The dark saber and that whole stuff from Mandalore. That will probably be part of it before that has to happen before he just goes off.
What does?
Well, they could be there's a rumored Bo-Katan series being made, so they could be saving like the argument between Mando and Bo-Katan for that.
And for her show, what happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
An entire show.
See, I hate that though. Like, let's just say Bo-Katan's show comes out like 2 years from now, right? And it takes place like after season 3 and 4 of Mando. Then it kicks back and it's like a prequel type of thing. I don't.
Like what? How am I supposed? So, let's say that happened in between episodes 3 and 4. That means 2 years later, I have to now go back to try to realize exactly what the situation was and how everyone was back in the day. Unless they, for some odd reason, show a review of what happened, but I shouldn't have to do that.
Well, they do that. They do that now. They would just do a recap in the beginning as a refresher.
Yeah, but then it's like, how good is the recap?
Well, majority of the population that watches the shows don't give a shit like us. They're not nitpicking on it. They would just watch it.
People crying because of like very small things that happen. It's like, oh my god, this character that we knew for less than 2 minutes died. It's like, you just answered your own question on why I don't care.
Yeah,
showed up 2 minutes ago.
Do we really expect the show that has Vespas in it to explain what happened?
Oh man, do you think we see them? Oh,
well, they're still part of Boba's gang, so
I love how everyone that joined Boba he has tried to kill.
They should all die fast in the big battle that happens in episode 7.
Well,
I have a feeling there's going to be a big battle.
You don't think there's going to be one?
Absolutely not. I think there will be a flat out L given to Boba.
No, I'm not saying because he's weak. I'm saying this mainly because the Mando, him showing up, just sucked all the air out of.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there. Him showing up shows how bad the Book of Boba Fett episodes have been.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Come on, they're not even close.
Yeah.
The only episode that might be somewhere near this episode is episode 2.
Yeah, no, episode 2 was good, but this is still leaps and bounds over that.
Yeah, that's the most disrespectful thing.
No, here's the part. Like, if they just did this from the beginning and like the Mandalorian was the Boba Fett show from the very beginning, I think we'd have a different outcome of this, right? Like if Boba Fett was the Mando from season 1 and 2 the entire time, like just think about this. What about if the scene opened up with Boba Fett escaping from the Sarlacc pit in episode 1, season 1 of the Mando, which is Boba Fett instead of the Mandalorian, and then it's just his adventures on this entire time. Like, the Mando character is a much better character than Boba Fett, and it's sad because everyone loves Boba Fett because of the 2 minutes of screen time he had from the other movies. And they're like, oh man, I would love to know more backstory of this, and yet they just introduced somebody else to take basically his place, and he's a much better character.
I would have loved. I feel like if Vetress would have been a cool character. And that could have been a great way to introduce Sith if she didn't die. And Cad Bane, this show would have been much better if Cad Bane was the main character.
I mean, Cad Bane can still show up in episode 6.
I remember.
Bad Batch, and he's a cool character.
He is. He's watched. If you haven't watched the Clone Wars,
no.
Oh man, he's great. I'm telling you, if you like the Bad Batch, Clone Wars is so good. It's so
Clone Wars
good
is
with
so
the
much better.
rich
I
lore and
tried to watch
everything.
the first episode, and I'm like, this animation isn't good.
See,
You get over that. You get over it.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna. Plus, technically, chronologically, you're supposed to watch season 2, episode 16.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start watching in chronological. Let me bring Gritter in.
I'm gonna go back and watch. You remember the Forces arc? I'm gonna go back and just watch that. I'm watching that today.
Well,
Hey everyone.
What's going on, Gritter?
Not much.
What's your
What's
what's
on
your
the
thoughts on the episode, man?
Oh man, let me tell you, this is
he hated it. It was awful.
no. But this episode proves why 2 or whatever minutes of screen time he had in 2 lines is not worth giving a man his own show. This should have been a chapter in the book of the Mandalorian, season 3. This is book of the book. Boba Fett should only got 1 episode, like to do his flashback of how he got at Sarlacc pit and how he met up with Fennec, and that was it.
That's
and then
it,
show him
yeah.
do a thing with Din Djarin in season 3 of Mandalorian. Man, dude, this
The
he's
30
slaughtering
seconds.
people with go ahead.
The 30 seconds of Mando just showing up as a silhouette in front of that door. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so much better. I was like, this is better.
2.5.
That
Yeah.
whole everything, the swagger, the sword cutting through people, like just like you're so like, whoa, this man's like, I don't care if this is Disney Plus, you know.
Yeah. Oh, when he sliced that guy on top of the desk, I was like, I had to pause it for a second. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is this on Disney Plus? I was like, he literally just murdered that dude.
Yeah, it reminded me of the time when that door cut that guy in half in the opening of the first episode of The Mandalorian ever. Remember?
Yeah.
They showed it in the trailer, and everyone's like, oh, they're going to cut away when that happens. Because everyone could tell in the first trailer for The Mandalorian what was going to happen. They didn't cut away. They showed the man get cut in half. They showed Din Djarin cut someone in half. But Boba has to hang out with the Power Rangers
Yeah,
and Barney the
yeah.
dinosaur, man.
You could tell that they spent the budget on this episode more than the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
This shows me. I feel like Jon Favreau's like maybe he was bullied into doing Boba Fett. That's not to say like a Jon Favreau's like who's gonna bully him, especially with with his
Kathleen Kennedy.
reputation. I know, but I'm seriously though. We started to doubt like man Jon Favreau's losing. Maybe it's because he's being pulled in multiple directions. Jon Favreau's like no, that ain't it, bro. I'm letting you know this was the only Mandalorian I gave a damn about. I was forced to Boba.
Yeah,
Oh, that's how I
it's
feel.
almost they used Boba just to make Mando look better.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
Now, question about the ship. How is he going to take bounties? How is he going to do anything in that brand new ship?
That's true.
I think he's done with bounties. I think his main goal right now is just to go see Grogu and help him out a little bit.
That could
And
be
then-
true, yeah.
And then once he is done with him, he'll get a bigger ship or
Wait,
steal
Oh,
Boba's.
I
Why
guarantee
wouldn't he be done
you
with
that the ship that he has now is going to blow up. He's going to have there's going to be some sort of joke down the line that he has no luck with ships or whatever. And then Boba will be like, "You can have mine, but don't blow it up like your last ones or something." It's going to happen.
I truly think he's going to get Boba ship.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get Boba ship.
Yep.
And dude, his armor looks 10 times better than Boba's armor. It's like the
Yep.
Mandalorian's like, who?
Yeah, Boba's like going to retire. He's not going to be a bounty hunter anymore. He's not going to need to travel. He's going to be the Dido of where he's at. So he's gonna give him his ship.
Dude, Fennec should have teamed up. Hey, I want to partner with him. You've lost
I'm-
him, Boba.
Uh,
What are you gonna say,
I
Krebsy?
mean,
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something before I interrupted you. Sorry. Before I brought up the ship.
oh yeah, you
Oh,
were
no.
about to say something, Krebs. Could I join? I think he was trying to get me to give my my input, but
No.
who do you think he's gonna recruit next that he's almost killed before?
Who?
Oh, Boba.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I don't even
Well,
want to talk about the man. His own show,
I
but,
honestly think you. I hate to say it. I think the Bad Batch are gonna be making an appearance.
They can't. I don't think they can. They would be way too old.
Yeah, they'd be around Rex's age
Yeah.
because they. I guess Well, no, not her. That'd be weird. Why in the world are you going Tatooine? Like that's
You didn't watch Rebels. You didn't watch Rebels, Krebsy. They had old clone troopers in that as well.
yeah, but we also don't know if. I guess that's the thing.
It's,
I actually think the worst thing they could do is show if they
Well,
show up in that.
I'm just
then
thinking
it's
about
like,
who does Fennec know?
they would be, I don't know, Fennec and Bad Batch.
Who
was
does
like
Fennec
20.
know? Fennec knows them. Fennec knows Cad Bane. Fennec knows Mando. Fennec knows who's she grabbing?
Okay, but how old do you think the Bad Batch was in Bad Batch?
They're probably in their late 20s.
no, they're around Rex's age.
In Bad Batch, they're like in their
Yeah,
late 20s. She's 16 in Bad Batch. They're probably like 15. They're probably 15 years older than her. Maybe 30.
Oh, you're right.
And stormtroopers fight when they're like 58.
They're
Have you seen
clone
how old
troopers.
Captain Rex
Not
They're like
stormtroopers, whatever.
They're clone troopers. They're like, if you watch Rebels and you see that they're still fighting, they're out of shape and stuff like that, but they're still as deadly and stuff.
I guess. Wait, that means at the
Then
time.
yeah,
of it,
they're showing up. Yeah.
how?
That'd be weird, but
Well, then,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. How does Omega come into this?
Probably doesn't. We don't know how.
I
don't
think
know what
Omega.
happens.
I don't know if Omega comes into the Boba Fett show, but I think she does come in. I think she does come into somewhere down the line. If it's not in Boba Fett, and it's in Mando, because technically she's Boba's sister.
Yes.
Really?
I hope that they don't. I just want that to be a mystery within Bad Batch.
What do you mean a
wanna
mystery?
be
They
like-
literally said that.
Yeah.
No, not that. I'm talking about. I want to see if she survives within Bad Batch, so then they don't have to do another tension-filled episode.
Here's the thing.
her.
Let me take back the Bad Batch stuff, because there is a season 2 of Bad Batch, right?
Yeah, they're coming out with that, so it's like.
Well, that's also a
he's showing
prequel, though.
me
That's
it.
also a prequel of
Yeah.
of what we're seeing
Of-
here. If they show the Bad Batch, if they show the Bad Batch in Boba Fett, then you would know nothing happens to him in season 2 of Bad Batch, right? If someone passes or
Yeah.
so,
that's
they
true.
probably won't do that then. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
it's
just
like, you
thinking.
don't
I was
show
just
Wrecker.
thinking. I was just thinking. Who does Fennec know that's been introduced with either in the Mando show or in any episode that Fennec's been appeared in? I'll still stick
Timothy
with.
Oliphant.
Yeah,
Hmm?
but she doesn't know.
That's
him.
true. That's true. She doesn't know him. That's
I
right.
mean, if we're being completely honest, Lando in Episode 9 got the entire galaxy to come fight.
That's
so-
true. He just paged them
Oh
on his
my
on his
God.
pager, and they were all there in a split second. They just dropped what they were doing. They were all there.
I'm surprised you don't get Baby
Wait.
Ray.
What about that girl that Plo knew? I forget her
What?
name. I called it a pink Power Ranger. She had a pink helmet on in episode 9. Poe.
Episode 9.
It was a weird.
Episode 9 of what?
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking about Poe's girl.
Yeah. Would she? No.
I don't
Rander's
know.
What are they talking about?
She's still like.
He's talking about the bounty hunter that was in episode 9. I forget her. I forget the
Probably
actress's
girl.
name
She
Of
played the
what?
actress' name.
of
Russell?
episode
Is it
9.
something
Episode
Russell?
9.
She the one that played,
okay. I'm thinking.
I think
dumb.
she played in The Americans. I can't remember her name.
I
She
f-
was
Cat- What's her name?
something Russell.
Starts-
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell. That's it.
Carrie
Yeah.
Russell? Yeah,
I
Carrie
knew it
Russell.
started with a K. Yeah. Carrie
Yeah.
Russell.
I mean, she could show up.
I mean,
We didn't see her face, right?
anyone can show up, right? So money buys people, right?
Yeah.
And they got to bring people in. So there could be a lot of. There's only gonna be like another 2 people that are like stars, right? Cad Bane, I think, is one of them, 100%.
What about Machete? No, I'm just messing.
That's
I-
so
I
weird.
don't-
Oh yeah, he just disappeared. for a
Machete,
bit.
that would be funny if Machete came back with actual 9 machetes and not like lightsabers. Like, no, I'm going to cut
Well,
some
he
stuff
could come
up.
back, and the Rancor could be in the final battle as well.
That's
I don't-
true. It's a Rancor.
How old would Boba be right after the Clone Wars?
He was like 13,
12. Yeah.
12,
Okay.
13.
I'm just wondering. I remember
Fennec is like
the-
3 years older than him.
I remember the cut content from Clone Wars. I don't know.
I
Just remember that. That was
I'm not
weird.
really too sure. I feel like Cad Bane will be the definitely the one. I'm not sure who else they would bring. I guess Mando could call on the sheriff to come and help
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
solid.
do you remember the girl with orange hair, pink skin? She teamed up with a
Orange hair, pink
Asajj
skin.
Ventress when Darth Maul was in Clone Wars during season 5.
Oh,
It was
I don't remember.
he interrupted a meeting with the Hutts, and they had a few bounty hunters. You remember the guy with the wolf, and he had a weird looking hat that was
Oh,
like
there
extremely
you go.
durable.
Bosk will probably be in as well because Boba would
Bosk?
call him up.
Let me look at that crew real quick. She was part of a crew. Let me
nope.
You
Greedo's
know what?
family's gonna show
I
up.
wonder. If
What'd you say?
Han
What'd you say,
Solo-
Krubsy? Hold on.
Greedo's family.
Oh, Greedo's family. Yeah. What were you saying, Gritter?
I was gonna say, I wonder if did y'all mention Han Solo yet? I know it's
I've said that Han Solo might make an appearance in episode 7 or whatever.
Yeah,
this guy.
Post credit scene at best.
or at least Chewie. Chewie probably could. You know, anyone can be Chewie.
Oh yeah, Chewie. Well, they already had the one Wookiee, so.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh, we can't forget Chris Stanton's one of his fighters as well. So you have Mando, you have Chris Stanton, you get Cad Bane, and I think you only need like one other person, right?
Here it is. Wait. Are they gonna show?
As far as Omega, I think they bring Omega in a season 3 type of thing. I don't know if they bring her in here, but the way they set it up at the end of Bad Batch, I just have a feeling that because Boba's her brother, like true brother, and everyone else is just a clone of them. So
You know,
Yeah.
what could be the real Skywalker moment? Sorry, Chris. Let me just say this right quick. What could be the real Skywalker moment is that one. Oh my God, what do they call it? The Tusken Raider, the female one that got away, that people think got away, suddenly shows up tearing stuff up.
Oh, I think she'll
in episode
make an
7.
appearance. Maybe that's the one that we're not thinking of. Yeah, because I said it like 2 weeks ago. I think she's alive, and I think she'll come and fight for him.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Everyone, I hope you're seated down. Okay,
I'm sitting. I'm ready.
Okay, I'm sitting.
get your puke buckets ready. What
Oh
if
no.
Brie Larson plays
Oh,
Omega?
okay.
Brie Larson plays what? Hold on.
Omega?
That'd be the worst thing in the world.
No.
I'd rather the voice actress. I don't even care if she can't act. I'd rather just her. Oh no.
No. No.
There's so many more blonde actresses you could get.
I wonder where they're gonna go with her, especially if season 2. We don't know what the Bad Batch season 2 will take place.
Yeah,
like
the
how far
time
after
scale.
the time.
Well, we know it can't take place shortly after Rex because did they mention anything about their aging being like slower? Because like Rex was logically 32 in Rebels apparently, or in his 30s, and it's like it doesn't look it.
well, that's what I'm saying. So in Rebels, he's 32, so he'd be like in his 50s now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Rex should be too old to fight right now.
Hold up, 50 is not old, man.
No. You know what I mean?
50
look
is
at how
not
he
old.
was in his 30s. Look
Yeah,
at how
but-
quickly.
I understand. I mean, I know Darth Vader deteriorated from the. Well, if you look at Darth Vader through that hallway scene in Rogue One, and then just a couple of days later, he was fighting Obi-Wan like he was stiff, like he forgot to take his Rogaine medicine. You know.
Ooh, I hope we see that scene. I hope we see that scene in that Obi-Wan show, but just faster. I know we probably won't. but
No,
hey,
don't do that because then you ruin New
yeah, I
Hope.
know.
You
Yeah.
ruin New Hope.
What if that other chick that I posted played Omega? The Mary, whatever her face is.
Man.
And she could. She
Oh,
could.
but 30.
Yep.
Check that out. I just sent it to you. That's the squad I was talking about from Clone Wars,
Oh,
except the top right one.
yeah.
But yeah, that whole squad, Boba knows her, and Boba knows him, and it's like technically,
Yeah,
he
well,
did
there's
team up with
Bosk.
them.
Bosk is there. Yeah. I can see that happening. I can see I can see all those people coming in.
Plus, I love the top one because they put Fennec there. You have Boba, you have Boss, you have the 4 other people. So it's like you technically have a squad that can be your bodyguards.
Yeah.
And if you can't get Boss, put Chris Stanton there.
Yeah.
So then you still have the big guy, you have the skilled sniper, you have the droid.
Well, let me bring this up on stream, guys, so you guys can see what he's talking about. All right, so he's talking about this whole group here. This is from Clone Wars, and then there's the same characters as this one right here.
Boba's in the middle. So technically, yeah, Boba's in the middle. The only one I'm not sure about is the girl in the back right-hand side.
Oh, with the ponytail?
Yeah, I can't remember what
Harley
happened to
Quinn?
her.
No, she's not Harley Quinn.
I remember the episode with Ahsoka and Padme, but I cannot remember after that what happened. I can't. But yeah, you can have that be his official squad. They did good against Darth Maul. I
Sure.
remember that.
Sure.
Like they did good against a
Well, they're trained bounty hunters. You know what I mean?
yeah. I pray. Yeah, and that way, if the biker gang does betray him, it's like I need new people, and it's like, don't
Well,
worry, I went out to go find.
Nobody
the
cares if the
people that-
biker gang betrays
Yeah.
them. I
You
swear to
know,
God,
for-
those guys should die in like a half a second.
It's like, let's go to war. Yeah, and then all of them will get blasted. It's like, oh, their Vespers just blow up. Just
Yeah, they're
man.
yeah, ridiculous.
I honestly do hope that they just go. They just disappear. They aren't even in the last 2 episodes. They
Yeah,
just
they went out
vanish.
they went out to get groceries for them.
Do you think
No,
we get
just-
like an Avengers style Mandalorian movie?
whole movie.
No,
No.
I
think
can
we get a
I
Tupac
can see
shot.
Mando moving to the big screen though as
Yeah.
like
A cameo.
a cameo. Yeah.
But okay, but how would they do that? There's no movie coming out set during that time frame.
Not yet.
Well, yeah. Didn't they confirm that? I'm trying to remember his name. The old man that was like, "Let's go find your destiny." He's a friend of Han's. God, I can't remember these people.
Not Londo.
Yeah. Wait, Mando technically takes. Oh wait.
Because he was talking to his granddaughter / no one knew if that was
I mean,
it. It was
they have
weird.
they have other movies that they have planned down the line. I know they have they're going back to the old times, but they can also move forward because I'm assuming they have a new plan because they're still moving the story forward up until episode 7, which is a 30-year gap.
I would love a Mandalorian movie and make it even more hardcore. Like if they're getting this hardcore in a TV show, I want to see them take it up a notch.
I don't.
I mean, I would
I
love a
think they
movie
went
and a
this
TV
far.
show simultaneously. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you have a show, and then every 2 years you have like a movie, and then you have a
Kinda
show.
like how the X-Files did for
The
a bit.
finale is the movie.
Yeah,
Gritter just wants to see more people get cut in half.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean
we
it was
didn't
brutal.
get it
It
from
was
Boba.
badass. It was badass.
We didn't get it from Boba, the guy who changed hearts so quickly. God, dog.
I want the movies. I want the cinema and the movies for Star Wars to be redeemed, and I know the Mandalorian can bring that redemption. He already did for television, but you know,
I don't know though. I kind of like if they do it well. Obviously, when they do it bad, it looks bad. But when they do
Yeah.
it
they
good,
don't
it's
have
really
to
good.
do a movie. I mean,
Yeah, they don't
I'm
have to do a
fine
movie.
with
I
the
think
TV,
you can
but-
get a lot more from a show than you can from a movie
Yeah.
because you have to crush it in. Like a movie could be like basically one quest, where each episode could be a quest. You know what I mean? Type of
Yeah,
thing.
that's true. Because they have that much time to breathe, it allows the moments where
Yeah.
stuff's about to get wrecked shop to be like just nothing but wrecking shop nonstop. Because they're like, well, where's the exposition? We have episodes for that. This episode is just for wrecking shop.
This is gonna be a dumb question, but do we know what happened to Crosshair after Bad Batch?
Crosshair.
Well, they left him on
No.
the planet, and he probably found a different way.
Oh, so he's a new character to that?
To the end of Clone Wars, yeah.
He's
yeah, he was the
he's
new-
part of the Bad Batch. He was
He
their,
probably
he
get
was their
killed.
sniper.
Okay, what I'm trying to get at is Crosshair. Is he a character that was created for the show Bad Batch?
Yes.
Was he-
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, he was one of
So
the
maybe
five
Omega,
five
Hunter,
guys that
and
was
Wrecker.
created.
maybe he becomes a bounty hunter and he's going to show up in Boba Fett.
I don't think that's going to be weird to show, because at the
I mean,
end
he
of
could
that, it
become
was like,
he could become a bounty hunter. I don't disagree with you there, but I don't think they'll bring him into the show.
that's I guess that's the biggest issue. Like, okay, if it went like this, Clone Wars, then they did a show, then they did Bad Batch, then I'd be like, okay, by around this time they would be done with Bad Batch and they'd be going to Rebels.
There-
So
Well, I think there's a reason they put Bad Batch out before Boba Fett. There has to be a reason.
I think it would just the same reason they're doing.
I kind of think
Obi-Wan.
that.
No,
I
I-
think that kind of.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gregor.
I was gonna say I kind of agree because that, that's the Disney kind of like with Marvel. They're real meticulous about the order they do stuff, they release stuff. But
They do it for a reason.
yeah,
No, I agree with you, and I don't know if it'll be. This is why I said Bad Batch might show up, because Fennec was in the show, right? Like, why would they bring Fennec in Boba Fett and then show her in the Bad Batch before Boba Fett comes out? You see what I'm saying? There's reasons why they do certain things and show and pick and choose why they show certain things. So this is why I said, but because there's a Bad Batch season 2, that could potentially
ruin
ruin. Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're gonna have a tension
That's
moment
true.
with Hunter dying. It's
Yeah.
like, no,
Nope.
he's not.
He
That's why
didn't die because he was here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
That's why I brought up Crosshair. At the end of season 1, he kind of
yeah,
not
but
with
they're
the
probably
crew.
gonna find him.
Well, you know what's
Well,
funny?
find him. They left him.
Yeah, they left him.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me see if I can
Yeah.
find.
and then he'll just be old. He'll be just as useless.
There was a shot that happened in Bad Batch. I forget what episode it was, but he gets injured. I think it was like the last episode, second to last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, he
Wait.
got injured.
Yeah, he gets injured and he gets wrapped up. Let me see if I can find it. Is it episode Crosshair?
Crosshair.
Let me see. I think it was episode.
Gets wrapped up.
Yeah, he gets
Injured.
he gets blown up in a thing. They're fighting on top of that ship area. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. No, that's Camino, so it's not that one. I think it's episode. Is it 14?
Is it the one when he
Oh,
gets
are you
blown?
talking about when he gets the blast from the engine?
Yeah.
That's the
Got it.
Cad Bane episode. You want to look for the one with the photo of Cad Bane, but click on the one before that.
Oh, is that what it is? It's
Yeah, it's right before that because Cad Bane shows up at the end. Yeah, I
it's
remember
the
that.
one
yeah.
with Cad Bane.
So
I
there's
don't
gonna
see.
be
I
a
don't see any. I
screenshot
don't
of-
see any pictures of. Oh, I see it. It's the one before that one.
Yeah, the one before it. It's like after 10 minutes he gets it.
Yeah,
And
Yeah. Okay.
down the middle.
Yeah. Okay. So when he gets injured and they have him wrapped up, for a second, I just want to get the picture to show you guys, because the first thing that came to my mind when this happens. Okay. So this picture is what you see. Let me bring this up on the screen. And the
Full
first thing
screen.
I thought of, I was like, oh, I said, well, maybe Crosshair turns into him, this guy right here, because he was wrapped up. I thought for maybe he changes and becomes this guy because he gets badly injured from the engine, but it didn't happen. But that's for a split second when it happened during the show. I was like, oh, I said maybe he becomes the bounty hunter, and I forget this guy's name.
yeah,
I forget his name, but that's what I thought though.
It would have been cool. I think it really depends on what happens with Crosshairs. If they try to kill him and then he manages
He's
to
gonna
escape,
be the
and then,
villain in the next season, like this,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna be friends with them again or whatever.
he'll be friends with them for like an episode and then he'll leave again. And then
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
want
lie,
that to happen.
The dude looks like the character from Naruto.
Yeah, he does actually.
I guess he does.
He's a ninja.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought.
just surprised 30 has actually seen Naruto.
I think this whole episode is we're gonna be very disappointed next week.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
We're going
Yeah.
back to Boba Fett, so
Yeah.
it's essentially like going from
So
Iron Man
question
1 to 3.
for each of you: Gritter, does Mando show up next week?
No.
Krebsy, does Mando show up next week?
No.
Duke, does he show up next week?
I don't think he shows up at all this season.
Anymore?
Can I
You don't think he
change my
shows?
answer?
You don't think Mando shows
No.
up even in season episode 7?
I believe what I said earlier is going to happen. They will make a season 2 of this, end it off with not a Kingpin level, but at this state, yeah, they're going to.
So
try
you
to
want
make their own
you
version.
basically want an Empire Strikes Back moment in this season,
Yeah.
where it's
Well, I don't want it. I'd rather it be one season, but with them
I-
trying to tease, hey, I need to go see my little friend or go see him real quick. That means a
That's not
time skip must happen next episode if he does show up
Nah.
in episode 7. Because, like, okay, you're talking about them having enough time to randomly introduce the Red Legion the episode before the series finale, if they don't confirm a season 2, which
I said
think-
originally in season 1, and I know a lot of people didn't watch it back then, or watch me back then, but when I said in season 1, I said that the Mandalorian is just a generic name, and they can use the Mandalorian to do any episode to any Mandalorian, right? So, like in season 3 of the Mandalorian, it doesn't have
they
to
can
be
make a whole book
it
of
doesn't
that.
it doesn't have to be Mando. Right? An episode could be Bo-Katan, an episode could be Boba Fett, an episode could be it could be done sort of like how The Walking Dead did their episodes, where they would focus on one of the characters for that episode,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I said in episode with season 1. I was like, Mando doesn't mean it's just always going to follow this Mandalorian. It might follow a Mandalorian. And
I
now
would
that they've introduced multiple Mandalorians, it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I like your theory though. At the end of this season of Boba Fett, it doesn't actually like conclude, and it ends up in season 2 of Boba Fett.
Yeah, because you can't do enough. Like, first off, we need some development on the Red Legion if you want us to be
Right.
like, oh man, that was at least a decent villain. It's like we're gonna have a fight scene with them, and that's about all we get. Like, that's not really
Well,
cool.
in season 1 of Mando, Gideon at the end of season 1, that wasn't
yeah,
that
he was cool.
wasn't that a cliffhanger at the end, and then we waited for season 2 to.
Yeah,
So they could do the exact same type of stuff. I could see that.
and with Mando, with Mando, I want an episode with the armor. I want to see like a whole. I want to see their version of it through her eyes and how she was raised.
Well, that's
at
what I'm
least.
saying. So the perfect example then, right? What you're saying, like they could take an episode and just do the armor, right? They could just do it and follow Paz. They could just follow Mando and tell you backstories. They could even just do a whole episode of a flashback of Mandalorian back then.
I would like to see a private scene where she's in her chambers and just a helmet. Nothing crazy, but just the helmet come off and she looks in the mirror and then we finally get to see. I mean, of course, it's the actress Emily Swallows.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, but that would be nice because I like that character. Don't overuse her. I like that they brought her in spiritual. Like you didn't even see her again after season 1 until
Nope.
now.
Yeah, because
And she's kicking butt.
Yeah.
Like no one would fight you. I'm scared. I mean, that's to say I know a Jedi would fight her, but any other Mandalorian, I don't even think Bo-Katan would mess with her.
You know, the Red Legion, they've been around for 4 years. They're being run by Kalas's daughter. Sometime they're going to have to show up and just unleash the warlocks.
I am hoping we also see an episode with Bo-Katan. Honestly, that'd be interesting.
I
know we see enough of her, but I just want to see like what happened
in
right
Book of
after
Boba Fett, or are you
Rebels.
talking about Mando season 3?
Oh, Mando season 3, because
Yeah.
I
I'm
want to
sure
see
that- I'm
how
sure
the
that's gonna
downfall
happen, yeah.
happened. Because I keep hearing about it, but I want to see how bad it was. Like I want to see for myself how bad was it when she became Cream.
Well,
like-
that's true. They could do a whole series on that time frame up until the purge happened, where they blow it up.
I don't think you need a whole show. I think
Well, no. What I'm
Probably
saying
an
is they
episode.
can do it in a show. What I'm saying is they can show you
yeah.
up until the purge happening, like the whole downfall
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. I think they'll get I think she'll get an episode dedicated to her probably.
I think if they do, those would be the longest. It's just like this and what other episode was extremely long this season?
I think the one with the Tuscan Raiders is extremely long too. The best episodes have been the
Number 2 was like
extremely long
48
ones.
minutes or something like that.
The other one was 53 on Disney Plus's show.
This is what I think is going to happen with Mando. Okay, think he's gonna not be in episode 6. Okay, until like
Oh,
You
what
cut
happened?
out.
You got
You
cut
cut
off
out.
there. Yeah, you got cut off there.
Krebsy?
Krebs, you there?
I don't know what happened there.
Okay, right quick before Krebs comes back, I want to say I love the theme song for The Mandalorian in The Mandalorian, but you know what? I even think the theme song for Boba Fett fits better with the Mandalorian. Like when they're showing the pictures of the Mandalorian at the end with the end credits, I'm like, this fits better with like the book of the Mandalorian, not the book.
Yeah. So I think what's going to happen based on what Duke is saying at the end of this series, a Book of Boba Fett, I think Emily Clark comes in because she'll be leading the Crimson Dawn, right? And
Yeah.
she's a skilled fighter because she actually was Darth Maul's apprentice. Okay, so I think that she comes in and then she rules, like she takes over, and then next season of Book of Boba Fett is when the big, like, sort of like Moff Gideon, right? In season 1 to
Yeah.
season 2, I think she's the Moff Gideon of this, right? They introduce her either next episode, it has to be next episode if she's coming in, right? The Pike and the Crimson Dawn,
That's what made me so scared.
and then
It's like, are y'all gonna wait till the
episode
last
7,
episode?
and then it ends on a down note type of thing, and then until next season.
But what exactly?
hello.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, you cut out.
I don't
Yeah,
know
we
what
can
happened.
hear you now, Krebs. That happened to me like last week or the week before last. I'm talking, all of a sudden, it's like I don't know.
Well, I
Hey,
was gonna say
you were about in the middle of
is-
saying something, and all of a sudden it just cut you off.
I don't know what happened, but what I was gonna say is he goes off on his trip to see Grogu, and Grogu gives him like a secret weapon or like the units to come back in episode 7 to help fight the fight.
You think it's a lightsaber?
I think he's not getting a lightsaber now.
That would be funny.
But I do think that the thing that was being crafted might be a lightsaber made of Beskar for Grogu.
Yeah,
I think it's armor to protect him. It could be armor to protect him from Ben Solo.
But why would
Exactly.
Mando know about that?
He doesn't. He's
But
just
it's also-
protecting
he's like
him.
a protective father.
Oh,
Hey.
so it's the literal version of plot armor?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I literally think they gave him chain armor. Yeah, chainmail.
There's nothing that can cut through Beskar, and Beskar was introduced in Mando.
So no, Beskar was
Okay.
introduced back in Clone Wars.
But like, I need to rewatch those fights. I thought I may be thinking of something else.
Yeah, but the chain, I think it's chainmail. I don't know if it's like armor, but it's more of a thing that like just drapes over him or whatever. Think of his
Wait.
gown as chain armor instead of the robe that he wears.
Did he give him the marbles, like the orb that he kept messing with in the later half of the season? Did he give
The
him
shifter, yeah, the shifter, yeah,
that? Yeah, he gave him that, right?
yeah,
No, I was
the
about to
little
say-
knob, the little shifter knob, yeah.
You think they made him a big ball?
Yeah, I was about to say
They gave him
could've just
a
gotten it back.
Beskar ball to play with. Yeah,
It's like you'll never break, meaning you could never
That's
break
true.
it. It's like always remember me with this.
And then if they introduce if they introduce Grogu again back in the show, like how much time has
can-
passed? A year? 6 months? You know what I mean? Like I wonder what that's going to be.
I think I predicted the post-credit scene. It's too perfect not to happen.
For
And
episode
also-
7?
Yeah, for episode 7, it's gonna end with Han Solo, Leia walking up to Luke, training Grogu, and Ben Solo is gonna be by their side.
Yeah,
Is
like
that the next
they,
show
they,
to come
they,
out?
they want you to train Jedi Academy is coming down the road. So
It's the
And
next
then
show.
whatever the gift was is going to be on Grogu during that scene.
I don't know how to feel.
I mean, I can
about
see
it.
that.
hope Ahsoka-
I can see that happening, Krebsy, with Han.
I really hope Ahsoka's show does that thing where they said she could do the veil or whatever it is and just erase episodes 7 through 9.
Oh, the going through the portals.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if they're
God,
gonna.
that-
I don't know if they're gonna erase 7, 8, 9. I think they're gonna fill in the gaps and kind of get to that point to make them feel better. You know what I mean?
That show, that introduces a way to do a what if series right there.
What if?
It's like, yeah, like what if Anakin never went to dark side? What if, etc. You have a portal in which you can view anything.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can view what if Mace Windu
All we
succeeded.
need now is Jeffrey Wright's
oh,
voice.
instead of saying what if though, it's just called the veil.
Dun,
You can call
dun,
it Elseworlds.
dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
So
dun,
predictions
dun.
next week, Gritter. What's your prediction? One big moment for next week.
My prediction is Boba will have a showdown or confrontation of sorts with I call them the Federation, but whatever that
Crimson Dawn.
group of not Crimson Dawn, the
The Pike.
people-
The Pike.
the Pikes, yeah,
Okay.
the Pikes.
Krebsy, what's your one big moment?
Boba Fett dies and just give everything back to Mandalorian to right forward.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's not dying. He's not gonna die. Is that your actual guess? That's what you're going with?
I don't know. After this episode, anything can happen.
Okay,
That's true.
Duke, what do you think? One big moment that could happen next episode?
I'm gonna try to be positive. Yeah, it's gonna be a short episode, meaning by the end of next episode they will show the Red Dawn. That name is right.
Mhm.
Crimson
Right.
Dawn.
Crimson Dawn,
I
Crimson
don't
Dawn.
see that being a thing.
They'll show the Crimson Dawn. The lady will show up at the end. Hopefully, we see the gang of the photo that I sent, or at least some of them. They show up and they're hired by him. They set up for war, but she doesn't want to have war. She just wants to talk before having to try to fight him and win.
This is what's going to happen next episode, okay? They're going to finally, after all these episodes, interrogate the mayor's assistant, okay? Get some information out of him.
Yeah.
And then the bar chick, she's going to be a secret agent for the Crimson Dawn.
I forgot about that.
I'm gonna go. My big prediction is Cad Bane makes an appearance
For next episode.
next episode,
Oh my god!
and we see Emily Clark's character Kira or Kara whatever coming to the show at the end, near the end.
You know what?
That's
You're
my
right.
that's my big ones.
You have the Crimson Dawn's leader hire Cad Bane as a bodyguard or something.
Well, I think
That'd be so
Cad
cool.
Bane's gonna come and help fight.
Man, now that I
And
said
that
that, I want that
interaction
to
between
happen.
Cad Bane and Fennec, that would be nice to...
I would love to see him helping her. It's like, yeah, you're paying me,
Right.
and it's like, yeah, you have more money than Boba. Like, I'm here until either he offers me a better deal or he steals all the money from you. I hope
You know,
next.
That must be weird. Fennec was hunting down Omega, but now she's working with Boba.
Right.
She
Well,
doesn't-
she wasn't hunting down Omega. She was trying to bring Omega back to Camino.
And she also
Yeah.
didn't know exactly about
Right.
the biological thing.
Okay,
So it's like,
ironic, I should say. It's ironic.
Right. Well, it basically
Yeah.
it just shows you that even though how large this galaxy is, it's still a small world, right?
yeah, I guess
It's pretty small whenever they keep using the same two planets.
I'm gonna remember to ask a question.
Right. They only keep using Tatooine. Like the
Yeah, there's so
planet.
many
Think about this.
worlds.
Tatooine is on the outer edge of the world, like of the galaxy, right? And yet they make it look like it's a goddamn hub, like it's Chicago, like everyone's going there.
Yeah.
You know where we're going? We're going to Tatooine. It's like, why?
Yeah, right. It's like, what's there?
What happened to Naboo?
And it's just totally a big coincidence that it's Luke's and Anakin's home. Big coincidence.
Well, again, like the story of Star Wars is a Skywalker story and Jedi
It is.
story.
It
That's
truly
what it
is.
is.
It truly is.
I,
Yeah,
I don't understand why people get upset about this. Right? The story of Star Wars is a Skywalker story.
I get
It
upset
truly
because
is.
there's so much
Not
potential.
a Rey story, not someone that identifies to the Skywalker. But no, let me stop.
Right.
I'm talking about.
It's like getting upset at a James Bond movie because James Bond's the main character. Like the story of Star Wars is a generation of. To me, I would have been okay if Luke or Leia had a kid, and the next movie they followed was the kid. Hence why everyone thought Rey was an actual daughter of Skywalker.
Yeah.
But they fucked it up. They fucked it up.
You say this, but the entire plot for Mando and Boba Fett hasn't involved the Skywalker.
What do you mean it doesn't involve the Skywalker? It involves Jedi. I just said it was a Skywalker story.
But there's a difference between the
No,
Jedi
I
doesn't
said
mean
I
Skywalker.
no, but that's exactly what it means. That's exactly what it means because Skywalker
No.
was one of the most powerful Jedi. So when you think of Star Wars, you always think of Jedi. There's always got to be some Jedi loring in the background because that's
Jedi
what's...
is. Oh, no.
I get
There's more than
upset.
just Skywalker that's a Jedi.
I just get upset at the fact they have so much potential. Like, you don't see every Marvel story having Iron Man be the main character.
Exactly.
But
But,
that's
like,
because
Star Wars
Marvel's not
limits
about...
You could think,
Yeah, but that's because Marvel's thousands of characters.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
have thousands of different races that they can introduce.
That's correct, but the movie of Star Wars, we're talking about just the normal movie of Star Wars, is a story of Luke Skywalker.
and his
You
father.
said Skywalker. You
know.
said Star Wars as a whole, not just
Yes,
the movie.
episodes
That's
1
true.
through 6 are about the
That-
Skywalker family. It's exactly what I said.
Okay.
No, I just get upset because of that.
Even with the Jedi that we've seen from episodes 1 through now, have been affected by the Skywalkers in huge ways.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
The
You
whole
can't-
collapse of the Jedi happened
Yeah.
because of Anakin.
Yeah,
And the-
technically they could have focused on someone else.
And the return of them is because of another Skywalker.
Of a Skywalker, correct.
Like, if Rey wasn't a Skywalker,
She's not.
Even Ahsoka's trained by Anakin. Whenever someone, whether since episode 1 to now, Jedi has always had some kind of influence or impact affected to them by a Skywalker, in one way or another. Is it three? Was it 30 degrees or 360 degrees or whatever?
Like literally the
So,
whole
yeah.
time you're watching Mando season 1, he's got Grogu, and you're like, oh, he's Force sensitive. And the whole entire time you're like, is Luke gonna train him? And we're like, no, there's no way.
I didn't want Luke
But
to
the,
show
the
up.
but in the
Yeah,
back of the
honestly.
entire mind, that's exactly what happened. Luke comes and picks
Yeah.
him up, connects
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
you knew
honestly,
he had
they
to
could
be-
have had Ahsoka.
You knew he had to be returned to a Jedi to help him, and you knew that Jedi was going to be
Right.
Luke.
Which Jedi are alive that we know of, right? Obviously, we
Which
know
ones
more
are
now. We know more now than they were back in the day because there's technically there's like
More than 10.
7 to 10 Jedi that are alive that we know of.
Yeah, they could have had Ahsoka take him if they didn't have that episode earlier.
I would love to see a conversation between Ahsoka and Luke, but anyway, maybe that'll be in Jedi Academy or Ahsoka.
Do you think that robot BD-1 is connected anyway, or just a coincidence?
Easter egg.
Just an Easter egg?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fallen Order drops next week. There.
Fallen Order.
No, that's coming out. That's coming out in same time as it came out last year. I called it earlier last year when I said Jedi Fallen Order will come out this year at the same time it came out. What did it come out in, like October or whatever it was? When did that drop? Jedi
Fallen
Fallen
Order 2 is coming out, huh?
Well, they'll announce it this year at E3.
Hope it's good. I need to
First
play
one
the
was great.
first one.
I liked the first one. It's good.
I need to play the first one as well.
Yeah, it came out November 15th. So I'll say this year it comes out in November. It comes out before Christmas.
So, what's the official timeline on the shows that you need to watch in order?
For what?
I know Clone Wars It's technically first, and then what?
I'm sorry, I don't know what the question you're asking.
Like it goes Clone Wars, Bad Batch, then what? Rebels? Like in terms of the
in time,
Star
yes,
Wars shows,
yeah, in
the
time. Well, no,
timeline
there's
shows.
all yeah. So it goes Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, and then Resistance.
Didn't try Resistance. Is it good?
It is good, but it's weird. It's like if you
Are
don't
some
like
episodes
if you
better?
don't like 7, 8, and 9, you're gonna hold
Oh.
it against it.
Oh man.
But it is a good show.
Okay. And what's after Resistance? Would Mando? Then Boba?
Well, no, if you're no, Resistance
Like
is after Mando.
okay, so it goes Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, Mando, then Boba Fett.
Mando, Boba Fett, then Mando season 3, 4, and then Resistance, and then 7, 8, 9, whatever would be.
Okay.
And then Doctor Strange Part 2.
Yeah, Doctor Strange Part 2, Multiverse of Madness, Star Wars edition.
I'll mention the Marvel theory tomorrow.
Do they have a
forgot to mention
timeline
it
order
yesterday.
in the Star Wars and the Disney Plus?
I think they
Oh.
do. I think they do.
Do they?
Let me look it up.
I got it open.
I could have sworn they did.
Series feature, Star Wars
You
Vision,
know what's
Star Wars
really
animation,
hurting the movies, y'all?
essential
It's the Star
episodes.
Wars, the lack of the 20th Century Fox fanfare. As soon as the 20th Century Fox fanfare was removed, the movies went downhill. The dum dum dum
Wonder what-
dum dum dum. I mean,
What's
come
the
on.
Acolyte?
Acolytes is
Time
going to be a
travel.
live action. That's,
Oh, because I'm looking at the Star Wars movies and shows chronological order. They showed that as before Phantom Menace. So
Oh wow. Well, I think that it is like a movie from. I mean, a show that's going to be in the past. Okay.
they don't have. It just says Ahsoka shorts, specials, essential episodes for Clone Wars. They don't actually have timeline order
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
on Disney Plus.
Oh no, I went online.
Yeah, I'm like, no, Disney Plus. They don't have it.
No, like what is it? They've recently fixed the timeline thing for Marvels. I'm like, this is
They
weird.
didn't
looking.
fix, they adjusted.
Yeah. Well, I don't even remember how it was beforehand.
Yeah, Clone
was
Wars
just
and
like,
Rebels. Rebels is a really good show too. If anyone's interested in watching Rebels.
They flip flopped Black Panther and Black Widow.
Oh,
All right, I think that does it. I appreciate you guys.
Star Wars shouldn't be about Skywalkers, just saying.
But it is. So just saying.
it's a shame.
Shouldn't.
Everything branches off from the original Tatooine.
Branches off doesn't mean it has to be about them.
It's not about them. Like
One
Mando's
way-
not about them, but they're still included in it.
Yeah.
Uh,
One way or another, they impact the entire Star Wars universe.
It comes back no matter what, no matter where you go. Even if you read the books of Wedge,
well,
Wedge is still friends with Luke, and that's what it is.
I don't know.
I mean, that's fact. I mean, no matter what you do, no matter what they do, they always link it back to the original movies.
Yeah, I still don't like it. But
I don't know.
So you don't have to like it, but that's what they do.
yeah, that's a shame. It's another shame on that.
Oh,
I mean, that's why I think a lot of people like the Old Republic stuff, right? Because it's
You had nothing,
nothing, right? And it's just about
was-
it's just about the Jedi. It's just about the Jedi.
not generalized to this family. Well, not anymore.
Right.
But
But then even then, the Old Republic still has Yoda, which still connects
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
but that.
Wait a second. What is this?
If they don't have
That's
Yoda
it.
in there, then it wouldn't connect it at all to any kind of main character, but they always have that like through line that's going through it.
I would love just to say I would love a what if Star Wars show. Like there's so many that you could do just in Clone Wars alone. Just in Clone Wars.
Oh, for sure.
What if Ahsoka was Obi-Wan's
right? What
Padawan?
if Ahsoka went dark, right? What if Luke went to the dark side? What about if Anakin didn't go to the dark side? Right? You could.
It's an interesting one. What if no? You remember the forces? What if they never forgot what happened there?
Right. What if Luke never met Obi-Wan? Right.
What if Mace Windu survived and went all the way to help Obi-Wan? What if he was the
What
one to help
What
train
if
Luke?
Luke went to where Leia was, and Leia turned up to be on Tatooine?
What if
What?
Leia and Luke switched places?
What if Qui-Gon defeated Darth Maul and he trained Anakin?
I think my big problem about Star Wars is why does everything have to go back to like the main?
Oh, stop. The Skywalkers? You about to say the Skywalkers?
No, the main cast. Everything has to go
Oh.
back to.
I was about to say,
core
what if
people.
Count Dooku didn't become bad or join Sidious?
I
another
mean,
interesting
I
one.
think part of it is because it was popular for that reason,
Let me see.
and
Well, I understand it being popular for that reason. You like those characters, but does that mean that you like Star Wars for those characters or for Star Wars?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you like Star Wars because of those characters, and then the Star Wars lore and what Star Wars is a cool place, and yet the fans that watch it almost like the little connection points of the original of Star Wars, because Star Wars Episode 4 when it came out was such a big phenomenon. It's not just it wasn't just a movie, right? It was an era of filmmaking and what it was. So when they show Tatooine or they bring back that's how they got you excited for Episode 7, right? Episode 7 got excited because you thought it was on Tatooine. You thought they were going to have the whole crew together, right? They literally made the movie like shot for shot like New Hope. Right?
If I could be honest, I only watched Star Wars the movies once I saw the trailer because I was like, oh, they're coming out with more. It's like, okay. I feel like now I need to watch it because
Yeah,
of
but
the
you're also a
fact-
completely different age group of the people that saw it in theaters back in the day,
Yeah.
right? And that's I wasn't even alive when the first movie came out in the theaters, right?
Yeah, I wasn't either.
So it's a completely different viewpoint
I don't
from
know.
people that liked the movies back then for what you saw, because you probably saw on VHS or DVD when you first saw Star Wars.
Who?
Both of you and Krebsy.
Oh. No, I saw it on.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if I have even seen any of the first 6 movies.
For
What?
God's sakes. What?
Krebs.
What?
I might as well
That's
bits
why
and
you have a hard
pieces.
time knowing their.
You're like my
No,
wife.
that's not even. That's,
You're
I
like
don't
my
know.
wife. She's like, is Star Wars the movie where they're on the desert planet?
I don't know.
Star Wars the movie where
What I'm trying to get at is you have Mandalorian. Why
Mhm.
does Mandalorian have to have a connection to Luke? It doesn't. Why can't you just start a new chapter with new characters?
But he does because of the time that it's in. He's connected because
No, you don't. You literally just said that there's
listen.
multiple Jedi.
No, listen. But the story of the person that started the Jedi Academy is Luke,
okay,
and that takes place during this time frame.
did they say Grogu? Well, they
So-
could have.
so of course.
Grogu doesn't
Oh,
also get trained.
you
Oh,
don't
wait.
need Grogu to go to the Jedi Academy.
Well,
you could have him
Kev-
train
Okay,
under another person.
no,
Well,
you can't,
Crap.
because there is at this point in the film,
You-
in the lore, there's only one Jedi that's known to be alive, and that is Luke Skywalker.
Until they met
Didn't you just
Ahsoka.
say that there's 7?
Yes, we know of 7 after all the years of all these different stories that come out. But in the galaxy, there's only one Jedi that's not in hiding, that's restarted the whole academy, and that's Luke Skywalker.
And he's a Jedi Master as well. He's not just
Correct.
A Jedi.
He's
So why
the
is
last
one of
Jedi.
the-
He's the return of
why-
the Jedi. He's the one Jedi that's alive and out that everyone knows about.
Why is it set up that way that only one person? has
Because
to
they all got
train
killed
that
off
one
and died
person?
off because Darth Vader killed them all.
Oh, I
You
understand
technically
this.
could have had Ahsoka
But
train.
why can't other Jedi that are hidden train him?
Because they're hidden.
But they
Wait.
come out of hiding and train him.
But they're not coming out of hiding because they're in hiding because of what they are. They were being hunted down and getting killed. So we knew nobody of any Jedi that were alive. And the only Jedi that was left was Obi-Wan teaching Luke, and then Luke goes off and studies with Yoda, and then becomes the Jedi Master, and he's the one that starts up back the Academy. There was no other Jedi to start the Academy because we didn't know of anybody else.
You don't need the Academy. The Academy can exist, but on its own without Grogu going to it.
What are you talking about? It has to be him. The person that's training, it doesn't matter
doesn't.
about the Academy if it's like a dojo somewhere. The only person that can
No.
train people is Luke Skywalker at this time.
Now, Krebs, that's almost like saying, how can people, play? How can Destiny or Destiny 2 have a mythology without someone at least mentioning or hearing the legend of Oryx? It's like, what? I mean, no, Oryx is not in every single, season because he's,
Exactly.
dead or he's turned into a gun, but his legend lives on, just like the
I
legend
don't
of
think
Skywalker
Oryx had
live
anything
on.
to do with the season of the Worthy or anything along them lines.
Well, technically, him and his siblings did. Him and his siblings kicked off everything. If you read the Book of Shadows, because I have the first Grimoire anthology, actually, it's right in front of me. What happened to them and their
Perfect.
family kicked off the whole thing of why the traveler had to run and hide and come to Earth to our solar system. Because anyway, I can talk about that in Discord. But just going back to Skywalker, like I will say this, Krebs, to help you understand more. You can't, no matter, even like in what's it called? The one about the people getting the Death Star plans. What's the name of that movie?
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Even in Rogue One, the one thing I will say is the Force. I mean, yeah, you may say the Skywalker, but the one thing
Why
you
can't-
cannot deny, the Force is always a presence in Star Wars and the
Why couldn't you
legend
have-
and,
There's a
and
large amount of
wait a minute, oh, I'm almost done. And the legend and mythology of the Skywalkers is always built into the mysticism of the Force, and that's it.
What is stopping the writers, from taking one of the Jedi in hiding, having them open up a Bob's trading shop and have them secretly training people?
What's stopping the writers is the first original movies, 4, 5, and 6. That's what's
You don't-
stopping them.
You don't need to constantly go back to those movies. You
No,
can
but
deviate off of
you're not understanding the reason. The lore after Return of the Jedi and the books in the legacy, right? That's canon or not canon anymore. Luke started an academy. He was the only Jedi at the time that we knew of. Now, since those movies originally came out in 77, 81, and 83, okay, now there's tons of other content where there's Canon was alive. Now you have a video game where Cal Kestis is alive. Then you have Ahsoka, which we never knew about because she wasn't a thing for Anakin having a Padawan. There was all these characters introduced after the fact, decades after the fact
Well,
of
I'm
the
not
original
talking about
story.
episode
Hold
1
on,
through 6.
hold on. You're saying why does someone else train them? Because during the lore of the original stuff, Luke Skywalker is the only person that was alive that could train. That's the reason.
But this is said after 1 through 6.
Correct. Right after. It's set 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Which
And the
means
original
that
lore,
it-
the original
What
lore,
are they-
there's only one Jedi, which is Luke Skywalker at this time.
Why are they hiding right
But-
now? I mean,
What do you mean?
why are the other Jedi hiding?
Because they
Ahsoka's
were
there,
they were
and
they,
this
they were
is
being
post-
slaughtered.
No, I'm talking about post 6.
They're still being at the time they're just
They're
monks,
not being hunted
right?
anymore.
They're just
Ahsoka's going
monks and
around
they're off
freely.
on their own.
But like Ahsoka's on a hunting mission. Logically,
Well, she's looking for Ezra.
yeah, she could have also taken him. Wouldn't have been that bad. Oh no!
And plus
I'm gonna go
plus
find
there
him.
is other people that have trained other Jedi. Canon trained Ezra.
Yeah,
That just
And-
proves why they shouldn't be Luke and it should be a different Jedi that's trained.
But
Grogu.
your logic is flawed because you're arguing
It's
over
not,
something.
though.
It is because you're arguing about the original movies 4, 5, and 6.
I'm not though. I'm arguing about Mandalorian, which is set after those movies.
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yes, it's set
True.
after those.
Yeah. And the only Jedi that everyone knows about and is starting the Academy, because that's the lore, is Luke Skywalker.
We don't care. But the Academy doesn't matter at this point. What
Sure
I'm
it does.
Actually, Well, if you saw episode one, Krebs, you would know really technically not just any Jedi should try to start their own training
Oh.
academy. Only certain Jedi, like a master, and right now the only official master. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of Jedi, but the only official
Correct, because
master.
Ahsoka's not a Jedi.
Passed
Cal
down
Kestis is not a
by-
Jedi.
Even
Didn't need
questioned
to be
by
a
Yoda
Jedi.
himself. Even Yoda himself directly, indirectly questioned Luke as a Jedi master. Then take up that mantle. So
Well,
only
the rules are
he
meant
should be
to be
allowed to
broken
teach a
in Qui-Gon
Padawan.
Jinn's eyes.
Only a master is allowed to have a Padawan.
Correct, and there's no other
There were
people that have
50
mastered.
other
Correct.
Jedi after 6.
There's no other master at the time.
It doesn't need to be a master. Why does it
except-
need to be a master?
Exactly.
What are you guys talking about? You guys are
Shut-
just making. You're moving
wait,
the
Oh my God,
goalposts.
y'all
No,
is trying
no,
to get
no.
like, hey, don't get like Kathleen Kennedy.
You literally are moving the goalposts to make your argument like suffice.
We're not moving the
No, I'm
goalposts.
looking at Legends. There's 50 other Jedi. I'm confused on why it had to be a Jedi master.
Again, you guys are looking at it. The lore of the films,
and
4,
there's
5,
still
and
10 of
6.
them.
Okay, there was no other
But
Jedi
the
at the
lore-
moment.
The new lore.
The lore only fits for the time that the movies were released. Current lore, we know that there are multiple Jedi alive that are able
We
to
know
train Grogu
we know
and
people
not
that are
just
Jedi,
Luke.
but they're not masters.
I'm
You don't
confused
need-
on why you need
And
to be a
also,
master.
you will
though.
notice because, like in episode,
I like
1,
how I'm arguing with
man-
someone that hasn't seen the films, and yet you're telling me what
I
what
know.
they should do.
No. I'm confused. Why did they need to be a Jedi master? Anakin wasn't
Because-
promoted master throughout 1 through 3, correct?
Anakin never became a master. He was learning to become a master, and then his Padawan, which was Ahsoka, leaves the Jedi, and she's not a master, right? She's not even a Jedi anymore. So
But
in their religion and in their stuff, she cannot train anybody because she is not an actual Jedi.
and
Well,
she
in the
doesn't
religion,
believe in the
Canon-
religion
Qui-Gon Jinn
anymore.
is
Canon-
supposed to have multiple Padawans.
Canon
Wait.
is not able to train anybody because he's also, when he was a kid, is when the Purge happened. Okay, when Order 66 happened. So he was learning to be a Jedi, but he wasn't a Jedi. But he still kept his faith and learned to wield the Force. Okay, and
And
then he
then to Ezra.
trains Ezra. Okay, to become a Jedi in the ways of the Force, but not as an official.
And also,
Is
one of the
Goku trying to
things-
be
one-
an official?
And also, let me put the cherry on. Let me put the cherry on top for everyone. 30. For those who watch episode 1, know one of the main reasons why Obi-Wan finally was recognized as a master at the end was because he actually defeated a Sith.
Correct.
And
Yes.
this time period, Luke Skywalker, of all these Jedi running around and hiding, only one had the balls to step out in the light and challenge Vader of all people, and he actually defeated him. And that's why he is a master. Because
Correct. And
defeated
the
the
reason
Sith.
Vader becomes an actual master after the fact is because he defeats the Emperor. And that's
Okay.
why he
Yeah.
can get the 4 ghosts at the end of Return of the
So-
Jedi.
And
Wait.
also, yeah, go ahead. That's it.
I'm confused on one thing. So you can train someone you can have a Padawan, but you don't have to be a master. You have to be a master in training, correct?
You have to be a master to have a Padawan, right? And you have
So-
it takes years and years and years to become a master Jedi.
So they messed up with Anakin
They
because he wasn't a master until 3, right?
he wasn't a master
Or
at
until
all.
6.
He wasn't a master at all.
So what happened with him and Ahsoka there?
During the time of him and Ahsoka, right? Anakin was turned to the dark side. He never became a full master as a Jedi.
But-
He turned to the dark side. Okay?
Okay.
He's the most powerful person, but was like wild. Okay? And Ahsoka couldn't be under him anymore. And because they were trying to frame her, she's like, I'm walking away from this. And she walks away from the Jedi Order completely.
Wait, I'm talking about how was he allowed to have a Padawan?
You can have a
If you need
Padawan
to-
without being a master.
Why do you need to have a master as a teacher? Is my confusion if you're just trying to get a hang of the Force.
What,
Because the
Why?
fear is if
You
you don't have
don't.
a master, you may have
You
an
actually
improper
don't.
teacher. No, the fear is you may have
The
an improper
person-
teacher
yeah,
that
the-
may lead you to the dark side.
you guys have
It's
never
supposed to
taken
prevent
karate
you
or
from going-
anything, right? Like
Yeah.
anyone can teach karate.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But the head of the
Yeah.
dojo is the master. Okay.
yeah.
He's
that's
the
true.
he's the one that's
martial arts as well,
qualified
so yeah.
to
Yeah, but
see if you're doing it the right
master-
way and teach the right ways of the Force users. Hence what Yoda
didn't
was. Hence what
Master
Qui-Gon
also
was.
deny Anakin at first? Because what was the reason in the episode 1 that they denied him training?
Because Qui-Gon, he didn't believe in the Force. Like they saw that he was too old, first off, to start learning the ways.
Okay.
And then Qui-Gon couldn't train him because he already had a Padawan, which was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There was no one
Yeah.
else that could train him?
No. Nobody wanted
No
to train him.
one-
No one would take him because of what the council was saying. Because he
And
was
also
too.
the council said they sense much fear in
Yes.
him. Yeah.
He
Okay.
wasn't correct.
Wow, so that's hilarious. You're gonna kick him out because he sensed too much fear in a child.
He was too old.
Okay.
He was
He
too
was
old.
a child.
Yeah, but too old. They take you
He
in
was
at like
10.
yeah, they take you in when you're like 3 or 4.
Yeah, because they're children and they don't even know what fear is yet.
Well, he did,
Compared to a 10-year-old.
right? So you
That's
guys are
hilarious.
arguing over something that like the plot
They
is
allowed
what it
him
is.
to have a Padawan while he wasn't a master. But he was
But
a
it-
master in training.
A master is a
Correct.
title given to someone that is of that level, but
The
you
only-
don't need
The
to.
only reason that Obi-Wan could train Anakin after the fact is because he beat the Sith. And that's why he could take Anakin as his Padawan.
I thought they
that he
didn't want him
promised.
to be trained because he was too old.
He promised. Did you guys watch the fucking movies?
Wait. That doesn't. Okay, he promised.
He gave Qui-Gon his word that he would take him as his apprentice because they would take him on as other. They would give him someone else as the apprentice. But
Yeah,
Obi-Wan
he did.
Obi-Wan
he
said,
gave his
"I'm taking
word.
him as my apprentice."
Yeah, he gave his word. He did. In the Phantom
Wow.
Menace, he gave his word to Qui-Gon. Yeah, he will look after the child.
They didn't sense
It's
any
like
more
it's
fear
like
in
you
him.
guys. It's like you guys didn't watch the
Wait,
films at all.
No,
they didn't
but
sense
he
any more
gave-
fear in him?
No, but they couldn't deny Obi-Wan's request. They wanted to, but he had just became a
They
master, and he said, "I gave Qui-Gon my word. I will look after the child." That was like verbatim what he
Didn't
said.
Qui-Gon? Okay, so Qui-Gon never gave his word either.
Qui-Gon wanted to train.
Qui-Gon got killed.
Yeah, Qui-Gon got killed, and he
No,
said,
no,
"I
no,
want to
he
train
did
both
give
of
his
them."
word that he'd look after the boy? Not at all?
He
Not-
said
that
he would look
wasn't
on
even-
it, and the Jedi Council
Oh.
said that you can't have 2 Padawans, right? And he still
And no
watched
one else
over him.
wanted
And then
to-
when he died, he said, "Take the kid and train him." And he promised him. He said, "I'll train him."
And if they still sense too much fear, which
Right, D
probably
Money? I don't know
did-
what the hell's going on right now.
Wait, they probably. I don't understand. What changed in Anakin? Now I'm just confused on that. I guess
His
he
mother.
didn't have as much fear in him.
No, his mother changed an episode. Well, anyway, that's episode 2. But
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
go-
episode 2.
go
Talk
watch-
about
go-
episode
go
1.
watch-
What changed
go
in him then? They didn't
watch the
sense that
movies.
much fear in him?
watch the movies.
I'm not
I
having
just
this conversation
did.
anymore.
I just watched the scene. As I'm talking to y'all.
Well, great.
So,
watch
they
the
didn't
rest of the
sense that
movies.
much fear in him.
Yeah,
I
watch
guess
the
they
rest
didn't
of the
sense
movies.
fear in him again. Because, oh no, he had too much fear. Oh, now he doesn't. Okay. That's what happened there. I guess he just didn't sense fear in him anymore, even though
What are you talking about?
they didn't. So they sensed fear in him, right?
Yeah,
That
the
was
council.
main thing?
The council.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then what changed at the end of the movie on Anakin's part?
Nothing. Obi-Wan
So
took him
still
under.
sensed fear.
Obi-Wan took him underneath his wing, and they still had fear. If you watch the movies, Yoda even talks about it to Mace Windu multiple times throughout the series.
I love how they could have
I'm
done
literally
that
done with this
there.
conversation because this is fucking retarded.
I love how they didn't need to have him there. They
You
didn't
guys,
need
you
him.
guys didn't watch the movies, and then you're arguing
I
over
did.
facts of stuff. So that'll do it for tonight. I do
I
appreciate
love
everyone
how I
coming
watched
out
the movie.
and hanging out with us and talking about this and with the craziness that's going on. We'll be back next week for episode 6 for the Book of Boba Fett. Tomorrow morning, I don't know if I'll be streaming because I have 100 point temperature right now as I'm arguing about
Oh,
Star
wow.
Wars. So I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow morning, and then I'll be back tomorrow night for GXG at 8 p.m. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Okay, get better, 30. All right,
Appreciate
see
it.
y'all.